Welcome and good evening, everyone, to the LaGrange City Council meeting. Thank everyone for showing up. For all you standing in the back, if you find a chair, you're welcome to sit down. But if you want to stand, that's okay with us as well. Want to thank everyone for coming tonight to our City Council February 2nd meeting. We have a number of different things to deal with tonight, some recognition, some ordinances, some policies, ordinances, things like that. But certainly appreciate you all coming. If you never have been to a city council before, we welcome you back next month. We meet here every Monday at 6:30 p.m. right here on the first Monday of each month. So be glad to have you then. Sorry, Arkansas got beat Saturday night, but Kevin Jeffries rubs it in on me, but we're going to wait for the SEC tournament, I guess. But congratulations to Big Blue Nation on knocking the Hogs off. So, but there will be another day. If you could, if you have a cell phone and you have it on you, if you want to silence that, for the meeting tonight, you're welcome to step out and use it there, but come back in when you get ready. But at this time, we always like to stand and say our Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. And be led by Kenneth Powell. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That wasn't because I called you out. Our city council meetings are all live streamed, so we're live, and this meeting is going all over the world right now. So if you get up and speak tonight or come forward, please speak openly and up next to the microphone so everyone at home can hear you. And anything that you say will be held against you. So, but please feel free to speak when you get your opportunity, and be glad to have you come up. Tonight, we have Heather Woodcock. She's our city clerk. And she always calls the council to order, or the council members as to whether they're here or not. So Heather, at this time, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Ricketts. Here. Councilmember Kinzer.
Here.
Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Councilmember Davenport.
Here.
Councilmember Powell.
Here.
Councilmember Kamer.
Here.
And Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Okay, I think one being absent, Latasha Booker is not with us tonight, but 7 members being present. I'll now call the meeting to order. Tonight, you also have your agenda in front of you. I would like to get a motion to approve the agenda as presented to the council members over the weekend, I think on Friday. I think we may have one addition coming from Councilman Joe Davenport.
Yes, Mayor. We somehow, remember, I missed it, or we missed it. I want to add the opiate funds that the budget committee approved. I'd like to add them in there after public comment, if we could. That's all right with everybody.
Okay, we'll put them in after last public comment item, Joe, and it'd be.
Yeah, we got Chaplain Don Wright on there. I understand he's not going to be here. He's ill, I think, so we can just add it in there.
Okay.
Is it the first public comment or the second?
Be the first public comment, be under last, third item there.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Be 7, somewhere after second, where you
Yeah.
want. Call it
Be like 7B.
7B.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other additions or corrections on the agenda tonight for anyone willing to add or delete?
Motion to approve the agenda with Joe's adjustment.
Okay, motion has been made by Trey Kamer. Has there second by Kenneth Powell? Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all's in favor of the motion, let them know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Okay, we have our minutes from our January 5th City Council meeting, 2026. I entertain a motion when you're ready to approve those minutes from our last meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion has been made by Kenneth Powell, second by Trey Kamer. Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, let me know I'm saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Before we go any farther, we have some certainly recognitions tonight on a couple of things. Sorry, Lucy.
I did find one thing wrong on the last page where the announcement says the next city council meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 5th. That would be February the 2nd.
Okay.
Okay. that's-
Well, that is a correction.
I just
Okay.
happened to see it.
I would like to certainly, for those in the audience tonight, our public works folks, our public works people, all of those serving in public works, all those serving in law enforcement across the whole spectrum, all those serving in emergency services, all those with the fire departments, with the OCD, with every dispatch, with EMA, with the whole gamut of what you all have done for our county in the last month. I don't want to leave anyone out. Have I left? See, I try to get them all in there, but Kentucky State Police, the Sheriff's Office, the whole entire group of law enforcement and special teams in this help in the last 3 weeks or so, what you've done in terms of the interstate, helping those traveling through our county. We just can't thank all of you all enough. So thank you very much. I'd like to give you all a round of applause. Okay, item 6 tonight, we have Cindy Alvano. She's our finance director here at the city. Cindy, if you'd come forward and we'll go through our financial items, first being the payables of the city council.
Good evening, everyone. You can take a look at the first item on the agenda is the payables listing for all the checks issued and written for the month of January. If anybody has any questions on those?
Cindy, I have a question under Amazon purchases. It was custom ink stampers. Just curious what those are.
It's just a date stamp for the accounts payable people. We just designed a custom stamp that has the approval. It's just an automatic ink stamper.
Okay. And then there's another one under Amazon purchases for wireless microphone system.
Wait, hold a second.
Okay.
I want to make sure it gets in the record. So whatever the answer to the question is, please come forward and unless Cindy can answer it herself.
When our rentals come in and want to use the room rather than giving them the nice mics, I found a pack, I think it was $89 a four for them to use in here. So
Okay.
that's what it is for rentals that use the room for speaking purposes.
Makes sense. Do we charge for that?
The microphones?
Yeah.
To use
I'd love
them?
to do it if you want to.
No, we currently do not.
We do not.
All right. I think that was all I had.
Any other questions?
Any other
related to-
question from us, any council person on the payables you
Oh,
have?
one other thing. We have a cylinder rental on here from Maverick Oxygen. For $10. I presume that's every month for cylinder rental.
Yes, for oxygen and acetylene.
Shouldn't we
tanks.
just buy those?
They're pretty expensive to buy. Corey could probably address that a lot easier.
Okay. I
than
mean, I know it's
can.
not a huge
Exactly.
expense, but for us personally, I bought ours to keep from having to pay the monthly rental every
By the
month.
time you buy them, the rental is actually cheaper than the purchase
Okay.
typically.
All right. Yeah, I think you're getting a better deal than I was getting too. All right. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Corey.
Motion to approve the payables as presented. Second.
We have a motion to approve the payables by Trey Kamer, second by Kenneth Powell. Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Go ahead, Cindy.
Okay, the second group of documents that we'll look at are the financial statements. The first page being the statement of revenues. The largest item that I would like to point out on there and is the very last item where we had some land sales out at Oldham Reserve. And I will reserve most of the talk about what the land is used for and where it was sold for David Bazanis. I'm sure that he'll be talking about quite a bit of the Oldham Reserve land sale this tonight. But that did net the city at $750,000. Is there any additional questions on any of the financial statements?
Any further questions by any council member? If you have a question, please let it be known. If you don't, I'll entertain a motion that that report be approved by the council.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made
I'll
by
second.
Kenneth Powell, second by Trey Kamer. Any further discussion on the motion? If not, yes, sir.
Yes, it's the fourth column. Is that January 2025 or is that January 2026?
It's through the entire month of January 2026.
Okay, the column says January 2025. Did that say 2026?
Can you tell me what page?
Page 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are correct.
So that entire column for that page and page 2 should say January.
That is
Page
correct.
3, whatever, this whole thing should say January 2026.
You are
All
correct.
right, thank you.
It's through 7 months of the fiscal year.
Correct.
7 months. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, last item, Cindy, please.
Okay, the last item is our bank account balance report. You can see that right now we're carrying a pretty hefty cash balance, but I would like to remind everyone that we have not expended as much according to our budget as we anticipated in the first 7 months of the year, so we've still got some expenses left that we're going to incur. Also, down in the investment accounts, we did have an expenditure where we transferred $1 million from our money market savings account into our general operating fund. That $1 million went towards the sewer project at Oldham Reserve.
Any questions on the cash balance statement? From anyone? None? Entertain a motion, please.
Motion to approve the bank balances as presented.
Motion made by Trey Kamer. Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Lucy Ricketts. Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
do have one other item that I want to bring to everybody's attention. I did speak to our auditors last week, and I know that this is a topic that everybody is probably tired of hearing about. However, that's one of the biggest reasons why I am here. They've had some unfortunate circumstances in their office. They had a partner that quit. They're short on staffing, so they were unable to complete the audit as of tonight, as originally hoped for, that they were going to be able to present it. So they're still targeting completion sometime in this month in February. I do not have a hard date for that.
This is a state auditor's office.
No, this is a private public accounting firm in Lexington.
Gotcha.
And
The CPA firm is RFH
sorry, I just want to say, what fiscal year is this for? That you're talking
2023.
about? Okay, thank you.
How, Cindy, how are the other years looking? Do you, obviously while we're waiting on that, you can work on going forward on the other years. How's that coming along?
We are gathering all the information for those other years as quickly as we can and identifying what a lot of those transactions are for. We're up to early 2025 right now. So we are progressing and identifying and locating a lot of documents so that once the auditors have everything completed and give our finalized report for 23, that we can move forward pretty quickly.
Awesome. So just for everyone watching, what's the process once the private public accounting firm has done the audits? Are we good with 2023? We can move on to the next one. You just send that off to the state, or does the state need to do a separate one, or how does that work?
The state does not have to do a separate one. We do a report which is called an IFR report, which is a certified informational financial report, which gets remitted to the state. They do not audit that. They take our CPA firm, their audit report as final.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
And that's
any
all I
further
have.
questions on anything about the audit, please? Okay, Cindy, is that it? Thank you
Yep,
very
thank
much.
you.
Okay, tonight during our public comment time, we have scheduled a couple recognitions. The first recognition I'd like to bring to the council and the audience's attention is the recognition and retirement of a canine officer, our police dog. The dog's name is Mia. Is the dog here tonight? She is here. I'm sorry, I jumped down, but I wanted to get this one done first. And so we'll wait for Mia's presence to enter. So this dog has been under the handling of Ryan Richens for, I'm not sure how many years, maybe Mr. Hoskins can tell us. So once they get back, we will try to get all to be said about the dog as we retire her.
We purchased a dog.
Wait, let Ryan let him get back in here with the dog, please. I'd like to get him up front so we can get him on TV and get him on the camera. So we can do that, please. We will, okay.
Mayor, did you bring any dog treats tonight?
I did not realize the dog was not in the building, so sorry, because I guess he had to go go get Mia. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Mark, let's go, I'm gonna go to the other one first, and we'll get Mia in, and I think Mia will be okay, right? Coming on in, so let's go, I wanna do this other one first, please. Okay, she's here, okay, Mia's here. Have Mia come on in. So. Could you take a picture of this? Just here right over.
Yeah, so Mia's a black Labrador Retriever, approximately 11 years old. City LaGrange Police Department purchased her March 14th, 2017 as our single-purpose narcotics protection dog to deter and detect illegal drug activity in our community. In consideration of K9 Mia's age and years of duty use, 8 years, she has reached or exceeded her time of acceptable service in this capacity. In addition, recent health issues necessitated the conclusion of Mia's departmental duty service. It was in the best interest of the city of LaGrange and Mia's long-term health and welfare to recognize this service and that of her handler, Officer Ryan Richards. And we have plaques for Mia. And a dog bowl for Mia. And I'll let Ryan talk about his bond with that dog. He did a much better job than I can.
All right. I'm sure you guys can hear me, but I'll stand at the microphone so you can see me too. Does that work? As you can tell, Mia has always been 100 miles an hour. So I just wanted to share with you a few of the questions I would get from people or the preschools I'd go to. One of the questions I was always asked by the children was, does Mia have a superpower? And the answer was, yes, she does. Her nose. Her nose can smell 10,000 times better than any of our noses can. And that's what gives her that superpower. Her nose works a little bit different than ours. We go into the house and we smell pizza. Yes. Mia's nose works different. She walks into the house and smells the dough, the tomato sauce, the cheese, the pepperonis, the mushrooms. And that's how a dog nose works. So Mia's superpower is her nose. The next question I always had was, has Mia ever protected? Thank you. I don't know if I still need to stand there or not. Has Mia ever protected you or anyone else? Well, first of all, Mia's not a protection dog. She is just, and when I say just, she's just a drug dog. She smells drugs. But one night, I was at Speedway, and you would think, if you ever approached my car, that I had a 200-pound Rottweiler. Because she would start barking, and that car would start shaking, and she sounded pretty fierce. But she started barking and scratching at the door, and I turned around. I didn't see anyone. I'm like, Mia, what are you doing that for? Well, later on that night, we got into a pursuit. The pursuit vehicle crashed. They took off on foot. It was a stolen vehicle that had stolen guns in it. I went back and watched the video at Speedway. That car had pulled up right next to me on the other side of the pumps. And the person had gotten out of the car, walked around the pump, and was staring me down until Mia started barking and scratching at the door. To this day, I feel that Mia saved my life. The next question I would get is, how would I know when it was time for Mia to retire? As you can tell, Mia is over 11 years old and not a single gray hair on that body. I wish I could say the same, but I can't. Mia told me one day that she was ready to retire. Every day, she gave 100%, 100% of the time. She ran out of the pen, ran up to the car, tried to jump in and hit about mid-chest. I knew right then it was time for this little girl to retire. And with that, we're going to do something special for her. While we're doing this, I'm going to just let her work the room. Hopefully nothing is in here. Yeah. For the record, 2 people have left the building. Find it. Find it. Two and 19 radio. Radio. This is Officer K9 Mia's final call. Today marks the end of her police watch. K9 Mia, thank you for your loyal service. I love you, and you are officially retired.
All units on channel. K9 Mia began her service in 2017 as a loyal partner to Officer Richards 219, faithfully working night shift for over 8 years. A hardworking and dedicated K9, K9 Mia played a vital role for the City of LaGrange Police Department in the seizure of guns, drugs, money, and vehicles, always keeping a watchful eye over her partner and the community they served. Beyond the streets, K9 Mia proudly represented the department at local schools, scouting events, church activities, helping educate both children and adults on the importance of canine work for public safety. Through every call, every search, and every long night, K9 Mia served with focus, drive, enthusiasm, and heart. She loved going to work, and her favorite reward after a completed task was a simple and well-earned tennis ball. K9 Mia, thank you for your faithful service, your partnership, and your unwavering dedication. You will be missed, but your legacy will remain. K9 Mia will hold you 10-7 remainder.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
your
Ryan.
support. Thank you all.
Okay, our next presentation night will be to the Ocart aerial team with those who work on this idea and behalf for Oldham County. Would you all please come forward? I know it's Ryan Baker, Mr. Captain Fonte, I think, or Chief Fonte. Is he here tonight? Huh? He's not? Okay, come on over, Ryan. Thank you all. Tonight we have with us the Ocart. It's the Oldham County Area Response Team. They do evidently magnificent things in our city and our county in response, recovery of things with their drone. And tonight I want to read and tell you what they did on December 20th, 2025. It's a great thing to have in our county in certain situations that when you need to get into remote areas, a lot of us can't go there, but there's one thing that can go is a drone. So I would like to begin by saying on Saturday, December 20th, 2025 at 2:01 p.m., officers from LaGrange Police Department were dispatched to the 2400 block of Cherry Creek Road, Cherrywood subdivision regarding a missing 61-year-old adult male. Information gathered from family members reported that the missing person had not been seen in the last 24 hours, left without his cell phone, and may have medical issues. Responding officers requested assistance from the Oldham County Area Response Team, OCART, the Grange Fire and Rescue Department, and Oldham County Emergency Management to aid in the search and efforts and initiate Golden Alert public messaging. Upon arrival, members of the Oldham County Area Response Team and Fire Service personnel established communication with all involved agencies, designated search grids, and deployed search drone units to locate the missing person. During these search efforts at 5:49 p.m., a drone detected a heat signature and then images of an individual down in the wooded area between Gustavo's Restaurant and the Richwood Nursing and Rehab Center. Fire and rescue personnel responded to this area, locating the missing person, who was injured from a fall and had been exposed to the cold overnight temperatures for an extended period of time. Removal of the patient from the area required a UTV all-terrain side-by-side unit. The missing person was in the care of Oldham County EMS at 6:17 p.m. and transported to Baptist Health of Grange for medical care and further evaluation. Without the personnel, equipment, and technology resources the Oldham County Aerial Response Team made available to our agency and the city that day, the overall outcome would have been much different for this individual and his family. So with that being said, that's what this team was able to accomplish. And I don't know if you've had any more events like that since, Mr. Baker, but this is one that I know the family has very much appreciated, and that man is hopefully doing well tonight. You know, so on behalf of our city and our county, we want to thank you all for that. And on behalf of the city itself, I'd like to present you a plaque presented to OCART in recognition of your team's rapid response technology resources and exceptional skills displayed on December 20th, 2025, resulting in the successful rescue of a missing person in distress in our city. Thank you on behalf of the city of LaGrange, presented on February 2nd, 2026.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say this was a collaborative effort, not just with OCART, but with the Oldham County Search and Rescue Team. Is multi-jurisdictional with LaGrange Police Department and multiple fire departments throughout the county. We had Ballardsville Fire Department, LaGrange Fire Department, South Oldham Fire Department, and PB Valley Fire Department that were in on the search, along with emergency management and Oldham County Dispatch. You know, played a big role in finding this person. Over on the table, you'll see that one of our drones that we have just for display. This is our biggest drone that we have for search and rescue. It is the most expensive part of that drone is the camera itself. So it's got thermal imaging on it so we can detect heat signatures. It's got a laser range finder. It has the capability of lifting an object up to 12 pounds from the bottom, and we can drop stuff too. And on the top of it, it's got some attachments where we can put on top like a speaker and a spotlight that help us see at night and are able to talk to people. So If there's any questions, after the meeting, please reach out to me and,
Before you step aside, Ryan, we have Whitney Meadows here from Senator Rand Paul's office. She'd like to come forward,
sure.
right? And come forward and give you something as well.
I'm going to ask the rest of the search and rescue team that's there too in the back to come forward, please.
I'll be just a moment. I just want to echo what has been said already about what these men and women do. But Senator Paul unfortunately was not able to be here tonight. But he has sent his regards, and if you don't mind, I'll just take a second to read them. It's my privilege to formally recognize and commend the members of the Oldham County Aerial Response Team for your exemplary service and steadfast commitment to public safety. Your work reflects the highest standards of professionalism, discipline, and readiness. Through careful preparation, technical proficiency, and coordinated teamwork, you provided an indispensable capability that strengthens emergency response efforts and enhances the safety of the communities you serve. Your willingness to answer the call under demanding conditions and to serve with regard with personal convenience exemplifies the very best traditions of public service. The dedication demonstrated by your crews is a testament not only to individual skill, but to collective purpose. Your efforts support and complement those of law enforcement, fire, rescue partners, and your presence provides assurance that critical resources will be available when they are needed most. Your actions of the Oldham County Aerial Response Team brings distinction to this county. It's fitting that your service be acknowledged and that your contributions be formally recognized and commended. Thank you for your continued service, professionalism, and unwavering dedication to the protection of life and public safety. Sincerely, U.S. Senator Dr. Rand Paul. Mayor, if you don't mind, may I grab a picture with the guys here? You're welcome to join us.
Yes.
Go to the middle. Go to the middle. You got it.
From what I understand, you all saved that man's life. It is outstanding work. Thank you to all of you. That's outstanding work.
Oh, yes, please. Pride and joy, right? Hey, can I present it? Zach, will you come back up? I'm going to present this to someone if you don't mind.
Come over here, Mayor.
Come on.
Get over it, Becky.
All right, let's do this so I can. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, my gosh. Thank you all. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much.
Okay, that was during our public comment time, everyone, but now anyone wishing to speak during public comment, if you have some comments to bring to the council, I would welcome you to come forward now if you'd like to. Okay, Kevin Jeffries.
Sir Mayor, City Council members, glad to be here this evening. This was great. I tell you, recognizing these folks and I wanted to also say I wish all of our first responders and everybody that worked, like you say, the last 3 weeks, Ben Kimbler and his folks and Donnie Dixon with the State Highway folks, they did an outstanding job of getting us out of where people could get back on the road, get back to work. So only thing, I've got a couple things just real quick tonight. Got word today, got an email from Transportation Cabinet that supposedly they're going to open bids or put bids out for the 393 and Allen Lane on March 19th. Now, we've heard that for several months now, but I'm hoping that we're getting closer to where those will be opened up and we can get started, or they can get started on putting those underpasses under both Allen Lane and 393. I know there's a lot of, things that kind of hinge on that. So we hopefully they will follow through with that and get that done. One other thing, last probably 2 weeks ago, I got some emails and some text about some dumpsters that are being placed around the county and that nobody really knows who's placing them. Down at the Buckner Kroger, there was one place there probably a week and a half ago or whatever. And what caught my attention was that clothing was not spelled correctly. It was like clotting or something. So anyway, doing some research and talking to our county attorney, these have been, I guess, and I think you all have had some trouble with them here in LaGrange. So we're trying to, Barry is putting together, we're going to try to update our ordinance. Right now, the ordinance that Oldham County has doesn't really address those. They've been falling back on the property owners have had to have them removed at their cost or whatever. So anyway, we're looking about how we can update our ordinance in order to make those so that, they'd have to either get a permit or, be able to be tracked. Because right now we don't know who's placing them. I know Jefferson County WDRB did a report on them here 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there's 100 and some of them that's been spread out across Jefferson County. And I think they're in the process of removing them down there, but their ordinance addresses it better than what ours does right now. So hopefully, we can get those things and start getting them removed. I know there's been several that were at Walmart and some other locations here, maybe in LaGrange that I think have been removed.
Mhm.
But just wanted to bring you all up to date on what was going on with that. And as always, we'll answer any questions.
Hey, Kim, why can't they go after him for fraud? Or Beach, maybe you could answer that. I mean, it seems like if I set up a donation basket and then took it and bought myself a new car with it, well, that'd be fraud. And clearly that's what they're doing here. Why can't we go after them for fraud? Seems like that'd be a felony.
Yeah, I'm not an attorney, so I really can't answer that. But
Beach, what do you think?
I don't understand why they would want to leave a perfectly good dumpster behind somewhere.
Yeah. Well, they're built. They're pretty cheaply built. They're just thin plywood. They've got a metal roof on them. Most of the time, they've got a lock on them.
Oh, they're not just good dumpsters.
No, they're building them, and they've got a flap door that you can put stuff in. But I understand in Jefferson County they were using them for drug drops and money laundering and several nefarious things. So it's not just they're not just dropping clothes in them and whatever. At least in some areas. So we're going to try to get a handle on them countywide and see if we can get that addressed. So
Maybe K9 Mia could leave some droppings to leave in there.
right.
I think one or so we had in the city, it's in dumpster heaven right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Corey took care of it.
Okay.
So I think it went away
Yeah.
just by calling
Dumpster
Corey,
heaven.
just by calling Corey in a backhoe.
There you go.
So
right.
they pretty much disappear on their own.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Kevin, for coming up, buddy. Yes, sir.
Hi, Barry Laws. I just wanted to take a moment. I play pickleball here Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and I just want to thank the city of LaGrange. You don't know what you've done for a bunch of old farts that really want to feel like young athletes again. But it's really been helpful. I know mentally and physically, it's been a boon to, I'll say, seniors. We have a lot of kids there that we whip on, but it's been awesome. The gym is awesome, and Steve's done a great job. So thank you very much for having this available to us. It's very much appreciated, and it probably goes unthanked a lot of times. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Steve, take a bow.
Okay, anyone else wishing to speak in public comment tonight at this time? Before we go on to our next item? Okay, Joe, if you would, go ahead and introduce our next folks, please, for their presentation.
Yes, the budget committee actually met January the 14th, and we had 7 county services come to us, and they're doing a Be Kind to Remind youth prevention event. They have the I handed all this information out to the council. Sorry we didn't get it on the agenda at the time, and they're requesting. We actually approved this for one other time, And we didn't get it to the city council in time to get it approved, so they came back to us, and the budget committee did approve this for the dinner table project, and they asked for $2,800.
Okay, you want to come forward, please? I don't, what's the other lady's name? Colleen. Okay, you want to just tell the council briefly what you have, to offer otherwise?
Yes. So my name's Liz Burrows. I'm with the Oldham County Health Department. And the Be Kind to Your Mind event is kind of the second of what we hope are kind of a series of prevention events. It is a collaborative effort among multiple Oldham County agencies. So we have City Place that's a collaborating partner, the library, the extension office, the health department, 7 county services. I know I'm forgetting, so Operation Parent, all coming together to focus on youth prevention. And that's one of the goals of the opioid funding, is to prevent youth initiation of alcohol, tobacco, other drugs, so that we can kind of curb the opioid epidemic. So the Be Kind to Your Mind event specifically is going to happen on February 27th. We're inviting 32 families to join us at City Place, where we are going to focus on the developmental assets and table talks. So developmental assets are things that we can build into the lives, especially of young people, to make them stronger and more resilient and more able to withstand those challenges that we all know will eventually come. So developmental assets talks about risk and protective factors, and the goal of prevention is reducing those risk factors and increasing those protective factors. One protective factor is a caring adult in connection to your family. So the dinner table project really focuses on putting our screens down, which none of us really like to do, and having dinner as a family. So the families are going to come in, they're going to be served a meal. They are going to have a box on their table. We're going to ask them and their kiddos that are with them to put their cell phones in the box. It's not a phone jail, it's just a little box. And it has communication or conversation starters so that they can have conversations with their families. At the event, there's going to be some family activities. They're going to do some cookie decorating. They're going to be separated for a while, and the kids are going to kind of talk about what they want to see in family dinners and family engagements, and the parents are going to talk about the same thing, and then they're going to come together and kind of discuss that as a group. So it really is focusing on bringing kids together, bringing families together, putting our screens down for a little while, and building those assets into young people that'll help protect them from making those decisions that would put them at risk for using alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs.
Okay, and you told us at the budget meeting that this actual expenditure has been okayed by the opioid settlement folks in Frankfurt, correct?
Primary prevention has been, every time I've heard Lauren Carr talk, she has focused on the importance of primary prevention. If you look at the regulations that guide the opioid funding, I think it's KSR 15, and it should be on the little handout, 15.291, section 5B16 talks about engaging nonprofits, the faith community, and community coalitions to support prevention. Lauren Carr has said repeatedly that the state understands that with youth, you don't start prevention youth don't typically start using opioids. They typically start using alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs that are more accessible to them. So primary prevention focuses on that piece. So developmental assets is an evidence-based program. There are built-in metrics. We're going to do a pre and post survey with the kids. So we will have data to back that up. But yes, she has repeatedly indicated that primary prevention is a fundable activity.
Okay, all right, thank you, Liz. Joe, you had a recommendation coming out of the committee, correct?
Yes, sir, it was approved by the committee, Mayor.
Okay, you want to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to.
Would there be a second?
I'll second.
Second, we have a motion second. Any discussion on the motion?
Mayor, this is relevant to the memo that we received, right? The January 14th memo. I think Mr. Davenport may have said 2,800, or may have meant to say 2,300. Is that right?
2,800
2,800.
for this one, but there's a second
Yeah, I
one.
think the
There's
front
another one.
number's
There's
wrong. I
another
saw
one
it too,
coming
Jay. I
after
think
that
the front
So the
number's
front
wrong.
number's wrong on the page?
On the very first page, it says 23, but I think it should be 28 when you
That's
do the
for the
math.
police department one.
Police
That's
department,
a
okay.
different one.
Okay, so it's two different things we're talking about here?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
That
okay.
wasn't made clear, so thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any further discussion on the expenditure? If not, all's in favor of the motion? Yes, Trey, go ahead.
Just to point it out, so it's your last page is the 2,800 out of the, at the bottom of the handout.
Be kind to your mind. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion second. No further discussion. All those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, second item, Joe, please.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you.
Well, after today, I'd like to invite Mia to come to this event.
Okay. Thank you, Liz, for all y'all's work.
Second item is an open expense for the LaGrange Police Department. It's for a conference in Nashville. They have been before. It's multi-training, an effort focused on the impact of prescription drugs, misuse, and illicit drugs in the community with federal, state, local representation from the company. So that's what this is for, is to attend that April the 6th through the 9th in Nashville. And the chief presented this, and he's asking $2,300 for this.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion's been made by Kenneth Powell,
Second.
second by Trey Kamer. Any further discussion on
So
the
who
motion?
would be attending this?
Marcus,
Marcus.
you're attending, aren't you, right? Yes. Yeah, you want to kind of hit on the Gary?
I didn't know if it was group or just Marcus or.
Just one person.
Just
Okay.
just me.
Okay.
I went last year to the conference. I was there with members from the Oldham County Police Department and the Oldham County Sheriff's Department. And the main thing that I could say that brought us together is we had collaborating minds that are in the county. The stuff that we went to and the courses that they had there were great, and they opened our mind. But then it was the after hours, and it was the hanging out, the camaraderie of, hey, let's figure out what we can do that situates better in our county. I know that it's not talked about much, but if you look at our overdoses that we have that actually are happening in our county as we know it, they're declining, believe it or not. Just sheer numbers go across the board. Personally, I'm responding to less and less. I get called out for every overdose that goes in, and I can tell you it's been 7 or 8 months, and I haven't made one single call out personally myself. So that's
awesome.
A huge win for us. But mostly this is, it's a good place for everybody of like minds to understand what all is going through the person, the victim, what's going on, and can we do, especially as law enforcement, to help more so than be the bad guy, I guess you could say. So any questions?
What do you attribute the lowering of overdoses to? What would you say is the biggest factor?
I think education. Education is a huge proponent of this. Targeting, I think schools do a great job of starting to educate more and more into it, but education and awareness is a big proponent of it. And people talking about it. A lot of people don't want to talk about that kind of stuff, but having the conversations and discussing it with people, I think that's the best thing. And people coming up and having conversations with law enforcement about it and having those kind of conversations, I think that helps out a lot. So
Awesome. Yeah, and I agree. I think the collaboration when we do city events, I tend to get a lot more from the collaboration more than the actual sitting in class training, the collaboration with other people. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? That tends to go a lot further. So good stuff. Thank you.
Okay, Marcus, appreciate you coming up and talk about it. Hope you learn a lot. Meet a lot of good folks. We went last year, but I think the county paid for us last year out of their opioid funds, but they have their own and we have ours now. So we might as well help out ourselves and use some of this money in a way that Marcus is going to go to Nashville and learn about this. Okay, let's see, where are we now, folks?
Still need a vote though, don't we, Mayor?
Excuse me?
We had a first and a
I
second.
thought we
Did
already,
do a-
I thought we already voted on it. Okay, motion, we have a motion, a second. All those in favor of the motion, let me know, saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, thank you all. Let's see, anyone else, public comment? One last chance. No? Okay, we're gonna move on to 8, Main Street Director's Report. Sarah Garrett. Good evening, Sarah.
How are y'all?
We're great.
Oh, good. Well, first, I want to reiterate what a lot of people have already said, and that is thank you to those who worked so hard to clear the roads. It is because of them working, I think, 2 12s back to back, and then a full week after that. It's because of them that people got their paychecks and my businesses were able to open up, and the impacts they had were insurmountable to a lot of these businesses, and I'm appreciative for that. Thank you so much. So in January, of course, we didn't do any events, but we've had over 60 volunteer hours just this month alone. We spent time creating an event calendar, which is what I passed out before we began this meeting. If you are interested, it's got Main Street events, and then it also has Project Guild for Oldham County Day, and then it also has Tourism's Rail Fest on there. So that was given to all of my merchants. A calendar of merchant masterclass was also given out to all of my merchants. So we took feedback based on what they said they wanted to learn, and we created an agenda for the rest of 2026 to prepare them for what they can learn. And they can, make decisions on if that's something they want to attend. We had great attendance for our first one in January regarding social media and how they can use social media as a tool to improve their business and expand their reach. So that's going great. Chocolate Crawl is coming up. I hope y'all can make it. I know the Taylors are going to join us. I'm very excited. We are still on track to sell out. So we have 500 tickets this year. We plan to sell out again per usual. Let's see here. And let's see, I turned in my paperwork to the state to be recertified as a National Main Street Program affiliate, accredited. So fingers crossed, but no worries on that front. And then the only other thing I have going on is one of our businesses will be opening in February. We'll have a new restaurant. You may know them as Devilish Wings. Very exciting, at the Old Bourbon and Ale House. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Anyone have anything for Sarah at this time? What time's your chocolate crawl?
11 to 4.
That's this Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. Check in at Main Street office and
How many
enter to win a.
tickets? How many tickets have you sold so far? You know?
I don't know off top, but I do know we're on track, and people usually wait till the last minute to purchase their tickets. It's not stressful at all, Mayor. Don't worry about it.
Okay. And what do people do? Go around to each store and get them some chocolate,
Yes,
or what?
I have 23 stops. So for the cost of your ticket, which is $20, you get to go to 23 shops, and then hopefully the whole point is to kind of get foot traffic through the door. So it's supposed to benefit my merchants as well. 500 people through your door shopping and enjoying some chocolate along the way. It'll be good times.
How's a beer and bourbon and chocolate mix? How's that taste?
You know what? I bet you could ask Jason. I think, I bet.
Does he
Scott
know?
can start.
Does he know? Oh, okay. All right. Well, does anyone have anything further for Sarah? If not, thank you for coming in tonight, Sarah.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Donna Sabo, LaGrange Tourism.
I'll be short tonight. The coat drive officially ended January 31st. We had over 700 coats donated through this program. It was a great program. We had people for the last several months coming to get coats. And the day the cold weather hit, I got a call that someone needed a coat. And police chief actually met a local resident over at the office to get them a coat on that cold day. So I'm very thankful for all of that. Thank you all for donating, and I really appreciate it. It was a good program for our city. Bank balance, $39,648. We're working on two things. Rail Fest, we had our first official meeting today, although the planning's been going on for months. We met as a group today and we worked out the details on it. It'll be May 8th. We will have a concert in the evening, and May 9th will be an all-day event, 9 to 5 with a concert from 5 to 7. We'll have train model layouts, vendors. We partnered with LaGrange Main Street this year, and so we're hoping to make it bigger and better.
Donna, when is Derby and Mother's Day in relation to that? I haven't looked at the calendar.
Derby's the week before,
Okay, so it's like
The-
the first or second, somewhere along there.
It's the 8th is Mother's Day week. Mother's Day is Sunday, the 10th.
The 10th.
So
Okay.
we'll be Friday and Saturday. Sunday
Okay.
is Mother's Day. It's
Okay.
the same weekend we had it last year.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anybody have any questions?
If you and Jason, I thought, didn't we sign you all to continue to talk about this,
Yes.
you know, archway?
Yes.
Y'all moved him forward on that?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anyone have anything for Donna Sabo? Anything tonight from Donna?
Thank you all
Thank
very
you, Donna.
much.
Appreciate it. Okay. Okay, introduction of ordinance number 2, series 2026 for a first reading. Item 10, ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of LaGrange, Kentucky for 1,000 block of Commerce Parkway. Anna, would you like to come forward? And this is, will be considered a first reading, so please just orient the council on what this ordinance is about and where it is, and we'll prepare for a second reading in March.
Yes, thank you. Anna Bard, Senior Planner, Oldham County. So something that's unique, this situation. So for legislative body review, so that's when zoning map amendments come to City Council, we don't require them to submit a plan. However, when the applicant submitted for Planning Commission, they submitted small plans instead of large plans. So I had them submit large plans, which means I have extra copies for City Council, which I think might be helpful. I think it would be a helpful add to our application checklist. So if I could give this to Heather and then she could give them out whenever is fine. It doesn't have to be today. So a quick overview over this. This is the 1,000 block of Commerce Parkway. The reason it doesn't have an address is because it's an undeveloped property. So we don't address properties until they submit for building permits, just to make sure we have enough addresses. So it's south of Oldham Oaks Road. There are 9 buildings ranging from 10,000 square feet to 23,500 square feet for a total of 118,200 square feet of floor area over 9 acres. The current zoning's R2. They're proposing C3. Planning Commission meets on February 24th to approve those meeting minutes. They're supposed to approve them last month, but that meeting got canceled due to the snow. So the deadline for the 90-day action is March 9th. And they started this process in May with a pre-application, and then they went to Planning Commission in December. So that's a really quick overview, and I will do a more in-depth review of that for y'all at the March meeting.
What is the proposed use of this?
It is a contractor office park, and they'll be able to go into more detail, the applicant, when we have the second reading.
So is it going to be like multiple offices for different?
Yeah, I
types of
think different
business?
buildings will have different offices.
Okay.
So
Is it spec? Or they have?
I don't believe so. I don't know. That would be a question for the applicant on each specific building's usage. And we don't have aesthetic standards, so I don't know like what they're going to look like on the outside.
And I can't for the life of me picture where Oldham Oaks Road is. Where?
You know where the Oldham Oaks Apartments is? Like if you're coming from here
Okay.
on Commerce Parkway past the Baptist Church on your right.
Yep.
That next road is the Oldham Oaks
Okay.
to the apartment, and there's a child care center over there on your left. There's nothing there, so it's hard to reference.
Okay.
And it's 9 acres, and it backs up to the interstate, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we won't get into too much questioning tonight, but anything that can be provided to the council over and above this, if this is it, between now and then, please let us get it.
Okay,
if we can.
yeah.
And we'll schedule a public hearing for March
Yep.
meeting.
March
To
2nd.
change the zoning. And that's all we're doing in terms of this plan is changing the zoning, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, we're not approving a development plan or
Correct.
we're just saying, well, this zoning fit right here.
Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, Planning Commission already approved the development plan, and then they recommended the zoning map amendment to the legislative body, which is City Council here. So that is what you're going to be reviewing, is just the zoning map amendment.
Now, if we were to approve the zoning itself, has everything else been approved and then they're permitted to go forward?
So the next steps after that is that they have to go through the construction plan approval process, site plan review, landscaping and lighting plan review. And then I believe they put money in escrow for a sidewalk since they, in lieu of them installing one themselves, they put money in escrow for a sidewalk for the city to put at a later time so the city can build that all out at once. So hopefully there will be,
But at that hearing, we'll see architectural renderings, what the buildings will look like, what kind of.
I can request that they provide
siding
architecture.
they'll have on them.
Yeah, I can request that they have
Things like
those.
that.
Yeah, we do not have architectural standards, so we don't have requirements in this county for what buildings look like. I mean, outside the historical district, of course.
Yeah.
But I can ask for
Okay.
front elevation renderings if you think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Anna, and perhaps Mr. Bazanis as well. I'm always thinking, how can we get some tourists in here? And I'm thinking outside the box here, but is there a way we could, since they're facing 71, boy, it would be nice if we could have some something about how wonderful it is to visit LaGrange and visits the shops and restaurants and things in LaGrange on the side of these buildings that face 71. Is there any way that we can work that into the deal, or is that too much to ask?
Right now, the sign ordinance would prohibit that.
Okay.
So sign ordinance is too close to the interstate. That's something that we're hoping to update. So actually at study review committee last month, we brought up sign ordinance as something to update. I know y'all do your own sign ordinance, but that's not allowed because for some reason, someone named the I-71 corridor as a scenic corridor, which is not in a designation by KYTC. And I sent the county's rules as far as I-71 to the state, and ours don't conform with like a lot of the state rules and what they permit and what they don't. So I would like to bring those up to those standards and do something that's maybe more interactive. I don't know if you would even be able to see from that lot the like on the interstate. I mean, maybe more in this like this time of year than in the summer. But I'm not sure if you would even be able to see. But again, maybe those buildings are going to be close enough that you would be able to see. Because right now we had a building that was being built on Commerce Parkway on the same side of the road, and they wanted to put a sign on that side of the building, but they're not allowed to. We have some people that are doing things illegally, and we just kind of have to deal with it as we get complaints for it. So it's a great idea. We just have to update our sign ordinance to meet that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anna, that's I think enough for tonight. We'll consider this as a first reading, and we'll see you all back on March
2nd.
March the 2nd.
Yeah.
We'll have a public hearing and for that night.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you, Anna.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do one more item here tonight, and then we'll take a break. Then we'll move into the rest of the agenda. But our next item tonight would be David Bazanis, Oldham County Chairman of Economic Development presentation. So welcome, David. And you have a PowerPoint tonight, sir?
I
do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Who put the picture on there?
Okay, you got a picture on there.
Man, he's already made it look better than I
Okay,
would've
okay.
said.
Sorry. Excuse me. Okay,
I
Steve.
have to lose some weight.
Steve's, are you talking to him, Steve, or what are you doing?
No.
Are you doing the Macarena there? Is that what that's?
Thank you. No, it's good. I rushed my PowerPoint. I didn't put as many good pictures in it, so thank you for that. Good evening, City Council members. Mayor Black, thanks for inviting me to be able to speak today on economic development, on Chamber of Commerce. I have, you said I had 45 minutes? Just kidding.
Hour and a half.
All right.
You have an hour and a half.
I don't have a dog or a drone to bring, but I do have a couple of slides just to kind of pace through this, and I'd love to answer any questions that anybody has. We are the Oldham Chamber and Economic Development Office, and we are a merged entity. Back in 2010, the community came together and decided that the Chamber and economic development efforts were both complementary type of efforts. And so since that point, we have been a merged entity, which really serves these two different roles. The economic development part is actually, most people are most interested in talking about that, but I want to make sure we don't neglect the good work that our chamber is doing as well. Our staff, our chamber director, Kara Sanders, has been with us for several years, and Mindy Arney, our communications director as well. So I wanted to briefly just kind of go over what the chamber side of our organization does, which is intended to cultivate the business community through programs and events. And so, getting our slide up there. Okay, I forwarded it to you, Rach. Didn't send? Okay, let's try again. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. All right, what was yours one more time? All right, that's my only thing. Back up.
Yes.
Heading to you. I mean, the slides aren't that impressive. I don't want to drag it down too far here. But our chamber business is, of course, intended to try to cultivate the business community here, and we do that through programs and events. Our intention are to support and advocate for local businesses and provide meaningful relationships and connections between business leaders and create opportunities for their collaboration and serve as a connecting point for all of the types of services that everybody from a business to a nonprofit to an elected official to any type of community advocate would need. And so we do that through a series of various events. Did you get that yet? Dang. Well, I'll tell you what, I can go through it, be fine. Sorry. So with our chamber, we have programs and events. Many of our signature events include Celebration of Women, which this year, that's our spring, got it? Our, I think this will be the third slide. Our Celebration of Women coming up this spring. Last year, we were awarded by the State Chamber of Commerce for event excellence for that. And the year prior to that, we won an award for best communications amongst chambers relative to, that's it. There we go. Relative to our weekly email. Thank you. Okay. Also, our Leadership Oldham County Alumni Reception is a signature event we have. We have a leadership class that's been around for over 20 years. And so we have an alumni reception after graduation to get all of those graduates together and continue to cultivate the networking amongst them. Our Oldham County Greenways Bicentennial Trail and Fun Run is a kickoff to Oldham County Day. It's on the Friday before Oldham County Day. Our Chamber Cup Golf Scramble this year, we had it for the first time at Eagle Creek Golf Course. Had a fantastic time. Sold out our first flight, almost sold out the second flight. Everybody, it was very complimentary about the wonderful work that was done at Eagle Creek. It's also a great opportunity for us to show off the relationship between Oldham Reserve Business Park and the great municipal golf course that we have there. And of course, a great restaurant with seasoned. So we're excited. We're going to do that again this year at Eagle Creek. And so looking forward to that in the summer. And also our Oldham County of the Year dinner is a big event that we have in the fall. We also have some programs. Zach Wilt was here earlier. Our Future First Oldham County Young Professionals group that Zach leads up. They've got well over 20 folks that are getting together. And these younger guys and girls are great at networking. It's a totally different vibe than all of our other events. So we're really excited to see that continue to grow. They've got a lot of sponsorships, I think, that have been coming their way just for folks that are wanting to get engaged with these younger professionals in Oldham County. Maximize Your Membership is our chamber orientation. I think the Councilman Davenport's probably been to the last 20 of those we've had. It's a great place to meet our new chamber members and get to know folks that are opening up businesses or just starting to network in the community. Morning Meetup is a networking event we host, and we move it around the county to various locations. And our Out to Lunch, which averages probably about 40 folks now, is just a monthly lunch meeting that we have. As far as LaGrange, we are a countywide organization, but we do quite a bit, make quite a bit of effort to make sure that we're spreading around all of our attention. Last year, we had over 62 events, if you count our ribbon cuttings. 31 of those events and programs were held in LaGrange. 4 of our signature events, our Celebration of Women was in City Place. I just mentioned our Chamber Chamber Cup Golf Scramble. Our Leadership Oldham County alumni reception was at the Gatewood. And then, of course, our Greenways Bicentennial Trail Run on Commerce Parkway as well. Over 1,300 attendees at those various events. And these are for morning meetups. We had 3 of those in LaGrange. Our out to lunch, I don't know how many that is, 2 at Palermo's, 1 at Ernesto's, Freddy's Frozen Custard, which was a great recruitment effort we had. El Acapulco, Cattleman Steakhouse, Season Pub, our Future First, I mentioned. 11 ribbon cuttings in LaGrange last year, and then 6 of our kind of other programs, including our Workforce Welcome, which is a new program to try to get employers connected to JCTC and our Oldham County school system so that we can have folks coming right out of an education system into either training or directly to employment, specifically here in Oldham County. And then finally, we have our building is not a public building, but it is available to the public. So this is our chamber located at 204 South First Avenue is a meeting space for folks that if you have a business and want to have a meeting with a client, but coffee shop might be a little too noisy and maybe somebody's office is less of a neutral area, that they can come utilize our space. I believe the board sometimes uses it, the merchants, the Alley Loop Group, lots of our nonprofits, and then of course anybody that has an individual that wants to meet, we are happy to accommodate that. That kind of covers quickly over what our Chamber of Commerce does. I'm happy to answer any questions before I go on into economic development. Any questions?
Any questions for David?
All right,
No?
we're cooking.
Okay.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about our governance as I get into economic development. One of the unique qualities of having a merged entity is that if in a lot of communities, the economic development efforts are typically an office of the county government. And in Oldham County, because of our merger, what happens is Oldham County Fiscal Court, the City of LaGrange, the City of Crestwood, our business community, the Oldham Board invest in our office to be and serve as economic development, which is responsible for business attraction, expansion, and retention. And so some of those efforts are, what they do is they put us in a position to have 2 really important roles. One is that we have no authority to do anything out of our office. So we can't give people incentives. We can't sell people a piece of land. What we can do is convene the people that actually have to do those things and hope that they can cut a deal. And that's through relationship building with many of the different types of partners that we have. On this slide, I've got one of our recruitments of CNS Machine and Manufacturing that located on Commerce Parkway, and then the Trilogy expansion that just happened, I think back in July is when they closed on the land in Oldham Reserve. So we have a lot of partners to do this. A lot of people think, well, you pick up the phone, you call businesses you like, and you ask them to come move to your community, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. What the recruitment process and working on economic development projects includes numerous parts of partners that we have, including the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development, regional partnerships. The Greater Louisville Inc. Regional Partnership has 15 counties that work together. We also facilitate the I-71, Kentucky I-71 Economic Development Alliance out of our office. These regional partnerships are great to see what's happening in our neighboring counties, but also leads come in through them quite often. So if a company wants to move to the state of Kentucky, often they'll reach out to the Cabinet for Economic Development. The Cabinet will reach out to offices like ours and say, we're looking for a building that is this size and has this height of a ceiling, this many dock doors, or do you have land that equals this that has access to these types of utilities and whatnot. Same thing happens with our regional partnerships. Another great way that we can work projects is through the development community and the real estate brokerage community, the commercial, office, and industrial brokers. Often, if you call somebody and say, you should move your business to Oldham County, it depends on what kind of mindset they're in, if they're even able to do something like that. Or are they in a growth mode? What's the nature of the market in your particular part of the world? But when you work with the development community, typically represented by the brokerage community, they're dealing with clients who already have projects and they're looking for space. And so when I mentioned that our office does not have authority, what we do have is the ability to be the site selection organization for the community. So if somebody calls Anna or Ryan Fisher over at Planning and Zoning and they have a project, They need to go through that office to get approvals and permitting if they call Stephanie Winther because they need to get a business license here. And they haven't contacted our office. Often they get shepherded our way. And then we can assess their project. We can determine if that project is something that is good for the county based on 3 criteria: that it creates good quality jobs, that it expands our tax base, and that it grows our infrastructure. Once we identify that, we can become advocates of that project, and we can continue to try to shepherd those projects through all the process that's involved in developing a new business. We also have to work with landowners. We can't just put a business somewhere, it has to go somewhere. And we don't own the land in Oldham County. So if you have commercially zoned land or industrial zone land, then you know people in our office, because if somebody comes to us and wants to locate a business, then we have to find the appropriately zoned area and move it there. Same thing with Oldham Reserve. There's a board of directors that is responsible for that park. They've enlisted a development partner that I know Chairman Stewart is here. We're going to speak on Oldham Reserve here in a minute. But that development partner is responsible for locating that business in the park. So for us, it's a matter of assessment of what the project is, take it to the appropriate place, show it all the appropriate options for Oldham County, and then try to help it nurse it along. Utility providers are big partners, of course, and then, of course, governing bodies like this. Without investment in infrastructure, there's not going to be much development that's going to be able to happen. We've got a lot of examples of that. The Commerce Parkway extension is a great example of a road that, relatively small road, that was planned for probably 15 years that finally got built. And once it got built, we now have $61 million of spec industrial Class A buildings that are going up there. Built speculatively, meaning that they did not have users for it. But because they risked that money and purchased the land and are building those facilities, we now have the attention of multiple businesses, but one in particular that I think we're going to be able to get across the finish line is an automotive company out of Michigan that will bring 250 to 300 jobs, average salary $26 to $36 an hour with health benefits. I'll go on. I stuck this on the end here. I thought this was pretty appropriate. You know, the industrial buildings I was just mentioning, that's on industrial land that has been there, zoned industrial for 20 years. It was generating I did these numbers, I didn't bring them with me tonight, but just the fiscal court portion of the property tax that was going from just the raw land there was about $400 a year. Now with the new buildings on them, before there's even a user in those buildings, that revenue is going to be $50,000 a year to fiscal court and over $500,000 a year to our school system, a total of about $675,000 that will go towards health department, fire departments, libraries, extension services, and all of the, I'm sorry if I'm forgetting your area, but all of those services that will be needed in the community that aren't going to be borne on the back of residential property tax revenue. So very good win for the county. And so what I put up here was a map where these are the hot spots of the county. This is where we really have to work when we have a company that wants to locate here. We've got, of course, Oldham Reserve. We've got Commerce Parkway is moving very fast. It's developing very quickly with commercial and industrial. We have Exit 18 there where there's plenty of activity going on, and the Clore Station development down at Exit 14, of course, with a hospital and a new medical campus, and of course, a new neighborhood being built there. So those areas focused along the expressway don't require us to go in and ask for zoning changes or conditional uses or anything like that. And so those are the areas that we have to market when we're working with a company. And so I also put on there KSR as another one of those. Hopefully in the future will be an opportunity for tremendous economic development. But we have 5 interchanges along I-71, which is a very important road in the state of Kentucky. And that widening is a very important role in being able to continue to bring in industry to offset the imbalance in our tax base. And the final thing I'll say, and then I guess I can transition into Oldham Reserve. I called PVA and asked if they had some statistics on this, and I'm still working through some of the details, but approximately $8.9 billion of property value is in Oldham County. Of that $8.9 billion, only $663 million of it is some form of commercial or industrial type land. There's a smaller portion, about $300 million, that is agricultural, but that's about 7%. of that total number. It's leaving a little over 90% of the property in Oldham County residential property, meaning residential property taxes, being able to provide our services. So it's a very big imbalance, and bringing industry in along the areas that are planned for industry, I think just are a great idea. Finally, I'll talk about Oldham Reserve. Oldham Reserve, 2005 was the initial plan for this mixed use. It's been referred to as an office park. It's a mixed use park. From the very first day, this park was over 50% residential. Over 50% residential was Oldham Reserve in the original piece of it. Since then, that purchase that resulted in the Rawlings Group coming here with 500 employees and tripling in size had largely sat there undeveloped. However, just as I was mentioning with other investments in infrastructure, because there have been investments in and around Oldham Reserve, namely the first piece, the Louis Dampier overpass, wasn't constructed until 2015. So you got 2005, nothing until 2015. And then Ernie Harris Parkway, which you can see as the bypass up on this map here, wasn't constructed until 2017. So we couldn't even drive through the property until 2017. That was paid for by county funds. Once Ernie Harris Parkway was under construction, the city and the county decided to extend to Eden Parkway. And while that was under construction, Trilogy Healthcare decided that they were going to locate. And their purchase plus expansion has paid now for East Peak Road, which is the next check I have to give Ms. Alvano, which is a payback for money that was fronted for East Peak Road. In 2020, it was Judge Vogel who went to Washington, D.C. and met with Elaine Chao that got an interchange. The interchange was an original part of the plan for Oldham Reserve. That was one of the obligations of the local community to try to advocate for. And then finally, and I do remember, and I saw, and I heard it was mentioned here, there was $1 million request for money to go to Olda, and someone on Facebook had said, you know, what's that about? Well, last year, the city and the county agreed to utilize $17 million to put sewers in the park, because if you don't have sewers, you can't develop. If you can't put your business up in 18 months to 2 years, you're not in business, and you're not only in competition with other business parks, you're in competition with what's ready to go all around Oldham County. So these are good investments. They will return on the investment, including that $17 million gets paid back through acreage sales with 3.5% interest on top of that. So of that 17 million, only about 5.8 million has been spent. And you know, there's some, I've got the interest that's already accruing on it and whatnot, but those funds happen to come there. We've had 3 land sales in 2025. The first was the Trilogy 2 is what we call it. Expansion, which are 14 villas that go along Eagle Creek Golf Course. Really done a great job on the site there. And then LG and EKU purchased some property to put a substation. And then Denton Floyd bought about 19 acres to put a multifamily project. Hollenbach Oakley, the development partners, back just right before that, I think it was in 23, purchased 73 acres. So acreage is selling, and Councilman Kamer and the mayor and Councilman Davenport comes to all those meetings as well, can tell you there are multiple contracts and purchase agreements that are in the works. And the reason that's in the works are because there was investment made in development. This implies time. It takes time, but we're really excited to be able to get some cash back and be able to hand it back to the citizens of the community. So I have that. I don't know if Chairman Stewart wants to come up and say anything, or all right, thanks. Thanks, brother. So, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
David, thank you, first of all. And number 2, Rawlings, most of the staff went to work from home. Do we know what's going on with that? Are they going to stay working from home? That building's going to stay mostly empty? Is there anything we can do there? And second part of that question, do we have any policies in place to make sure that we don't do that again, where we have these huge buildings built and then everybody goes home and we don't get any of the tax benefit from it? Not any, but
sure. Well, I mean, I think that you could write the ordinance differently so that you can capitalize on that. But I don't know that there's any. I guess my opinion isn't necessarily what you're asking for, but I'm not for making private business have to to do something out of the ordinary for this kind of reason. I think the ordinance should be able to do that. If they want to have people work from home, I think that's their prerogative. What I do but to your point, it is a concern. We want to make sure, well, one, we do see that impacting the compensation revenue. And then two, we want to have this big, beautiful place, which it is. We've met, and Mayor Black was there, Judge Vogel, our development partners had met with the folks at Machinify, and they are very bullish on the building as a big recruiting tool for them. And in fact, because they have so many people working remotely, they're able to have people come back and do various types of team building things and whatnot. So they still utilize the building. But I do think at some point they could decide that they want to lease part of the building out. I don't think it gets to a point where we're just going to have an empty building. I mean, honestly, if they were to say we have 30,000 square feet available, then that would be something that would make it easier for us to bring a company in because
Yeah, that's what I was kind of.
yeah, if you want to come to Oldham County, you're probably going to have to build, which means you're going to pay a premium for land. And then of course, construction is very expensive now. So the more buildings we have, the more we have to work with. I wouldn't want to lose Machinify at all, but in the event where that provides space for us, I think that continues to give us usefulness in the park.
Yeah, or if there's a way to broker where the part of their building that's not being used, hey, tell you, take it and run with it. If you can get somebody in here to rent it from us, great, do it and do that. That might be a win-win as well. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
That would be awesome, Jason, if we ever got the signal to do that. But at this point, they haven't said that's what they.
No,
wanna do.
we talk to them regularly. They're engaged with us through chamber activities and whatnot. And so, we're very, hey, if you guys are, we don't want them to get to where they're just sitting idle and it's empty. And we want it to be we want to make sure that they have lots of opportunities as they stay here and their business model changes.
Okay, David, we thank you so much. I don't know if anyone else has any further comments or questions for you. If they don't, I want to thank yourself, John Stewart, for coming tonight and giving us a beginning of the year report. And hopefully, as our year goes on, we can have some bigger announcements coming to not only Oldham Reserve, but the county as well.
Yeah.
Because the way I look at it, we're all in this together. I think what's happening down at exit 18, as far as the manufacturing facility that's going to be probably furnishing products to Ford, I think you'll see more things spin off from that, more investment in the county. So it all plays into one another as to how we're going to try to piece all this together over time.
Agreed. Those are good things for the county. They're also good for LaGrange.
Right.
There's not a lot of area for industry. So what we have is in a good spot, and it's getting, what's not ready to go is getting ready to go. And so it's going to be a good year.
Okay. Thank you, David. You're 8 o'clock. We're gonna hold Scott Treese up. What? Yes. Yes.
Currently no water in this building. They've had to shut things off to fix the main break on Second Street. So just FYI.
Oh, so we can't. So you can't.
So hold it is what you're
can't go to the
saying.
bathroom. So are you saying? Yeah, we need still stand up and stretch our legs just a few minutes, but you can't go use the restroom, everyone, unless you go out back. Okay. All right. Let's stand up for a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Go pee behind your car. drove right behind me. I was like, well, here's your guys. Maybe you already know. Because a couple years ago, it's right after a new page two, and the tracks, there was another burst right there. Of course, once they try to repair it, it's never as good as when it was all freshly paved. You just got nothing.
Right.
I think she's sick. She talked about she might have hospital. I think she got tested today and came out of the hospital.
I feel it. I know. I think I might close it.
Yeah, I think we should.
It's like chili close it both ears.
I'll come and do that. If I talk too loud, you'll know why.
It's cold.
Okay.
Yeah, no. You can do there.
Is everybody back in here?
Something in there, wasn't it?
Sure was. They got both doors.
Why do they have the doors open?
Okay, let's go ahead and begin it one more time. Try to get out of here a little while. Up now is our LaGrange Utilities Report, Director Scott Treese. Welcome, Scott. I know you've had a major water break today on 2nd Street. I guess the water shut off by now and you're trying to fix the break, sir?
Trying to make the repair now, yeah. So they tried to fix it live, but it evidently they were having to cut a piece out, which means they have to, it must have split and run. I don't know the details yet. They texted me while I was sitting in that chair over there. So
So what did you have to do? All the water that was backed up in the pipe, you had to let that all come out and run down 2nd Street until you could get it another valve shut off somewhere?
right, yeah. And so we've got, I think they said 12 customers off right now, but it includes this building. So
Do you think that was because of the freezing, the thawing, or no thawing, just freezing, or
just
what do
the
you think?
cold, the cold,
Just
yeah.
cold?
That old cast line, those are a little more brittle than
Okay.
a lot of other materials. So
Okay.
pretty
It's a
common.
shame. It's a shame we just paved that street, or the county
know.
did. The
And-
county just paved that
Well,
street,
they
so,
put that over our water line for.
okay.
No, it happens. We don't like it any more than anybody else does.
Yes, sir, I understand. Okay, Scott, what do you have for us tonight?
All right, so I'll get into my updates here. You should have my financial report in your packet. Oldham Reserve project, so we did get a new substantial completion deadline of April 2nd on that project. Flynn Brothers is doing that work. Of course, this weather has kind of halted. They were back to work today on site. First Street Water project, that's the one where we're going to go underneath the railroad here. We have all of our approvals through CSX, the Division of Water. We're trying to wait for warmer weather before we do that project. We will have one lane closed for the duration of the project. So we're trying to get the logistics worked out on that project before we actually bid it out. Quartz Water project, we did award that project to Slater Brothers. So they will be starting, that's to replace some of this cast iron. It's been a big issue in that area as well. It's usually where we have have had several breaks in the past. So we're trying to get some of that out of our system. Water pressure valve project is been awarded to Conhurst. That one will be starting as soon as the weather breaks on it, is to interconnect all of our system. The Allen Lane project, the state is going to be bidding that project soon. We've got engineered our stuff that has to be relocated for it, so it'll be moved as part of the state project. East Peak Road sewer extension is almost complete. Trilogy Sewer Project is also almost complete as far as the gravity sewers. Denton Floyd lateral extension, that project has been approved by the Division of Water, and so we're just waiting for a contractor that's going to do the work. Same thing with Marquee Apartments. It's approved, but waiting for a contractor. Dogwood Estates, so water and sewer plans are now at Division of Water for approval. And then the Fort Pickens tank rehab is complete and back in service. We actually got that back in service right before all this cold weather hit, so we were glad to have the extra water stands. Because you never know this time of year, you're going to get leaks, and it's having the extra capacity really helps keep everybody in service as we can. I do want to say thank you to all of my staff. They've worked some very long hours through all this. I think my on-call guy was out 10 hours Saturday alone. And so, customers having issues, we are having issues. So we're ready for this cold spell to be over. But be glad to answer any questions that you have.
I guess y'all see Scott's financial report. I always like to try to make you aware of that and also get an approval from the council, since we do have the ability to work with them on their 5% automatic increase per year in case we have any issues with that. But if we don't, then we just keep moving. But I'd entertain a motion. We approve his report. Motion made by Joe Davenport.
I'll second it.
Second by Lucy Ricketts. Any further discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. We also tonight, including in Scott's report, we're going on item 13 and then 14. But Scott did notify myself that he had two board members' term expiring. Scott and I talked about each of them, and each of them bring a lot of experience and years of understanding of the water system and all the projects they have going on. And Scott is very highly recommending that at this point in time that we try to continue with these two appointees. And the first being Greg Teague. I'm sure a lot of y'all know Greg, I would think, but his bio resume is in your packet. And you have anything further to say about Greg at this time, Scott?
I think Greg's a great board member. He's very attentive to what's going on. He understands the business. He's been here long enough to be informed of what we're doing and why we need to do it. Same thing with Roy. He's been here for, I guess, since the utility was formed. I don't know, but
Roy was the first meter in, I think.
No, a lot of knowledge. Both of these, we have a lot of projects going on, a lot of projects that are coming, and it's nice having the consistency on the board that is aware of what the need is and what we need to do to make everything keep moving forward for LaGrange.
Okay, so I would like to recommend that we reappoint Greg Teague to serve from 2/1 of 26 to 1/31 of 2030. If no further questions, I entertain a motion from someone.
Second.
Motion made by Joe Davenport, second by Trey Kamer. Is there any discussion on the appointment? If not, all those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, item 14 as well. Roy Horton, as Scott said, he's been around quite some time. I don't know how much longer Roy wants to continue to serve, but he's very knowledgeable of our total system, sewer and water. So anything you'd like to say about Roy?
Yeah, you'll notice it's just a 1-year appointment. And so what the reason for that, normally these are 4-year appointments. But our stagger got off somewhere along the way, years gone by. So we're just trying to reestablish per the ordinance to get the stagger back the way it's supposed to be. So that's why he's only doing a 1-year appointment. Then next year, it'll be 4 years moving forward for everyone. And then this kind of gets us back where we need to be.
Okay, with that being said, I'd like to make a recommendation to appoint Roy from 02/01 of 26 to 1/31 of 27.
Make the motion.
Motion made by
I'll
Trey
second it.
Kamer, second by Lucy Ricketts. Any further discussion on the appointment? If not, all those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, Scott, is that it?
We're gonna
Thanks,
try to get
sir.
some Water back on.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
We're gonna try to get the water back on for you.
Okay.
We'll be under full water advisory though, just so you know.
Seriously?
Yeah, for this building, yes.
Okay.
We'll drop that paperwork off at one.
All right.
So is this area boil water?
Just there are 12 customers, so we'll pass those 12 customers. You're not, your business is not.
Okay.
But,
All right.
the 12 customers are.
Which 12 are they? Do you know?
It's just
Sorta.
down this alley, comes down the alley, then over to Kentucky to turn the valve off, so it's just pretty much just down this alley.
So those folks got notified
They will be notified.
by the front door or what?
Yes, we will go door to door.
Okay.
Hey, Scott, is there any, a lot of people are going to have frozen pipes or had frozen pipes or all that. Any advice for them as far as, obviously you got to get a plumber out, but I didn't know if you had any words of wisdom for.
Yeah, usually in these times, if you know your house freezes, if you've had issues in the past, we recommend leaving the faucet, running a little bit. It doesn't take a whole lot of water, but it does hopefully help prevent that. But definitely call us if you wake up and there is no water. We will come out and check our meter. Sometimes it's us that's frozen. And so we will come check that and make sure it's not us and let the customer know that they need to, at that point, call the plumber to get working on their side.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mayor, I did want to add, so we did have a water break at North Oldham Little League on Friday at like 3:45, and made a call to both Scott and Corey, and got a very quick response, got the water turned off, and it was partially because there was a heating issue, so that's why the pipe froze.
Oh, and we do have, anybody that has issues after hours, if you call our office number, option 2 is our emergency on-call personnel. It will go directly to all of our guys. One of them's on call on rotation. And so you will get an answer if you call and hit option 2 for emergencies. So.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thanks, Scott.
your quick response too.
Okay, item 15, second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 1, series 2026, an ordinance amending duties and responsibilities of the office of the code enforcement officer. This is scheduled for a public hearing tonight. So, Mr. Craig Mile, you have anything to say further about this ordinance at this time?
Let me do more than just read it in summary, just because this is so important. And Stephanie has, the code.
Can you speak up and speak into there, please? There you go. You're very.
The standard code, the model code enforcement law was adopted in 1998. And then over the years, as things came up, things were just written down and assigned to the code enforcement officer, and they no longer were appropriate. So there were so many things that were wrong with what was, there's a confusion as to whether the duties and responsibilities of an appointed officer, unelected, are duties and responsibilities or the job description. So it got kind of confused as to whether it's a job description or responsibilities. And so we try to clarify what it is. The first 3 are pretty much what she's been doing before up till now. She doesn't do criminal offenses. Okay, the code enforcement officer used to write tickets for parking and violations and crimes and all that. And actually, that position's been moved completely out of the police department, except for a little bit of work that she does for the police department. So it's now at civil, under the civil division, and she reports exclusively to the mayor. But the 4th element is as what part of the way is we find what people's skill sets are, and she's very good at paperwork and mechanics. And so she provides enforcement for building inspections, fire inspections, stormwater inspections, historic preservations, alcohol beverage control, and other government agencies that have in historic district. So she can present those as cases in administrative law. The other things that are sort of new that the code officer does is they issue licenses and permits for businesses, golf carts, encroachments. They maintain registrations of rental properties, vacant properties, short-term rentals, assist in collection of revenue for business license taxes, compensation tax and records. And then of course, the last thing, number 8, is that she's kind of like a prosecutor that presents the cases to the code enforcement board and then takes them to a judgment or a decision.
Pete, you're saying she, but it's Aaron's, same thing applies to Aaron as well, correct?
Aaron is not, are you an assistant or just a?
Yeah, so I'm not a sworn in officer like she is. Her duties are different.
Okay, that's what I was curious about. Thanks.
Right.
Okay, if you're satisfied with what you reported to the public in terms of what this public hearing is about, Mr. Craigmile,
Sure.
I'll entertain a motion and a second to enact this ordinance upon approval by the council at a later time tonight. So who would like to make the motion? Laura, this came out of your committee, correct?
Yes, it did.
Okay, you want to make the motion?
I can make a motion
Okay.
to approve the ordinance updating the code enforcement officers' duties and responsibilities.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by Laura, second by Jason Kinzer. Now, what we need is a motion to go into a public hearing. Motion made by
Second.
Lucy Ricketts, second by Trey Kamer. We have a motion, a second. All in favor of the motion to go into public hearing, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, we're in our public hearing process of the public hearing for this ordinance to be heard tonight for the second reading. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to show support for the ordinance? If you do, please come forward. Anyone here in support of it? Anyone here tonight in opposition to it? No one? Okay, we don't have any closing statements, closing arguments, because no one's for it or against it. I entertain a motion that we close the public hearing and go back into regular session.
So moved.
Motion made by Trey Kamer,
Second.
second by Jason Kinzer. All those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, we have a motion, a second. So any further discussion on the motion before the council? If not,
I would just like to say that Stephanie went through this pretty carefully, went through all of her job duties, and there were 2 different documents that had conflicting amounts of information on them, saying that she did things that she doesn't do. And so she spent a lot of time going over this and making sure that it was accurate in terms of the things that she does actually do for the city.
And I'd like to say I hope she's doing well and getting better. If you're watching, hi Stephanie, we miss you.
okay, thank you, Laura and Jason. We have a motion, a second. If we're ready to vote, all those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, roll call vote, sorry. Okay, okay, yeah, okay, we can do a roll call vote. Go ahead and do it, Heather.
Councilmember Ricketts,
Yes.
Councilmember Kinzer,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Councilmember Davenport,
Yes.
Councilmember Pell,
Yes.
Councilmember Kamer,
Yes.
and Councilmember Taylor. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes. All right, item 16, appointment of Nathan Merrill to the Historic District Commission for a 2-year term from 2/1 of 26 to 2/1 of 28. I believe Nathan's bio resume went home to each of you all. If you've ever been in and around a Historic District Commission meeting, there's probably no one that understands historical preservation better than this young man. The Historic District Commission has been begging myself for some folks to join the commission who actually has some historical preservation background to the extent that Nathan does. So I don't think if we're going to keep the commission in operations that we should not approve Nathan's appointment. He just presented last week on his idea to preserve the Ratcliffe Funeral Home just down the street from us at 4th and Jefferson. So If anyone has any further comments or questions about Nathan's appointment, please voice it now. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve Nathan.
Questions?
Yes, sir.
With regard to the funeral home, does he have any financial interest or ownership interest in that particular property? To your knowledge.
Right now?
Right.
No, he hasn't bought it yet.
Okay.
He hasn't bought it that I know of. He hasn't closed on it because it's still contingent on a number of different public hearings and zoning changes and things like that.
Is that property in the historic district?
Yes.
So if there's any, in the future, anything that needs to be done, or if that building, if somebody has to take that building to the historic commission for work or any questions or any kind of approvals, he would be the one doing that at that time?
He would, however, Jason, he's already been before the Historic Commission, and they had about 5 members of the board there the other night when they had the hearing. I was there as well, and some of us were, but he's already been approved by the Historical Commission with a few changes. They want him to add a block or a stone on the addition he wants to put on, stating that addition is built in 2026, not as when the original funeral home was built. So he's already been through that exercise with the Historic Commission. So I don't think anything else should come up in a historical issue other than him doing something that wouldn't be okay with him at a later date.
So I guess my question is, if something did come up at a later date, he has ownership interest in the property and he's asking for approval, I would assume then that he's not going to have any vote in that approval.
No, he would abstain and remove himself from any kind of vote like that.
Can I add that to our motion that that's going to be the case? I just want that very clear out there.
Well, I think any property that he would have any monetary interest in, that would apply to that as well for the future, because he does do those type of renovations, Jason. But I see nothing wrong with that.
That was my second question. Basically, anything that
He has to file, he should probably file financial disclosure, and you're just ethically obligated to recuse yourself.
Well, and that's why I wanted to point that out, just so everybody's aware of that, and he's aware of that, and going forward, that he does that. That's my only concern.
Yes.
Mayor, what's your criteria when you look at these things? Obviously, you want somebody knowledgeable, but like Jason said, you run the risk of conflicts of interest. So how do you, yourself, you've been doing this for a while, how do you kind of ride that, balance everything where you've got some knowledge, but you're not going to be
I think
have an ethics issue with it.
In your stomach, either you got a conflict or you don't, and you got to wise up to it and say, hey, I got to abstain from voting tonight because I've got an interest in this and I need to make the public aware of it. And it comes down to an honesty issue. Either you have an interest or you don't. The chairman of the board, all of them were asking, would I please find somebody who would serve that has the knowledge and experience in historical preservation, because we're sort of lacking on that. But I think, once again, when someone sits on any of these boards, even this board here, if you have a financial interest in anything that we discuss, you need to make it known and abstain from that vote, period. So it's up to the person. You can't guarantee that they're not going to not tell the truth, but you hope that's the way they will be.
Okay, I was just curious.
But
so is this one you recommended, or did they recommend?
they
Mr. Mayor?
recommended him to me.
Okay.
And I'm certainly okay with it because we've all seen Nathan in action around this city with these historical properties. And that's not to say he's going to do them. He just so happens to be doing the Ratcliffe Inn at this time and needed historical approval to move forward with planning and zoning and other agencies that need for them to get their approval.
Okay. All right.
And I've worked with him quite a bit because that building that he's going to purchase, hopefully, is very dear to my heart. And we've discussed it a lot, and I find him extremely knowledgeable about construction, how a building is built and what needs to be done. And he does not plan on doing any exterior work to the outside of that building because of that. I don't know, do
I'm
I
ne-
need to recuse my?
I've
myself
never,
on this
I've never,
because I'm
I've
working with
never made an appointment and attached something to an appointment such as what Jason Taylor's mentioning, but I know Nathan well enough that he would agree that with Jason, that if that's what you need to put in it to get it done, then he would be okay with that. Okay.
Just a contingency that he's gonna, follow all ethical rules and everything. Obviously, we expect him to do that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention.
So you want that part of your motion to approve him or no?
Whoever made the motion, I would like it to be part of it. Would be great.
Who made the motion to approve, Nathan? Anyone? No one as if yet? Okay, does anyone want to make the motion to approve him?
Can I do that?
Sure.
Okay, I make a motion to approve.
Would there be a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joe Davenport.
I've seen his work. He's fantastic.
So we have a motion second. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you all for that, and keep moving forward. Item 17, Director's Report, Corey Rusnick, Public Works. Once again, Corey, thank yourself, the City Police Department, everyone that have worked tirelessly to get the roads in the shape you have and allow people, as someone said earlier tonight, to get to work, to put some hours in, to get a paycheck, so thank you all for just coming by everyone's houses about 100 times in the last week or two.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I want to publicly thank all our guys too. They put in hard hours. No complaints, at least to me. What they say behind closed doors might be a different story, but so yeah, of course, that's the biggest topic of the day for us was snow removal. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't probably the worst one. When it comes down all this snow, it makes it a little bit easier to handle, but definitely ran pretty much most of the week trying to clean it all up to get it as clean as we can. I also wanted to thank the police department, code enforcement, for the notice that we put out for parking on the streets. It helped drastically. I probably did that whole route that I ran the whole time. I only saw 2 cars in the entire city, which was unusual. We usually have 50 cars at least. So much appreciated. Aaron and Beth went out door to door putting notices out. So helped out a bunch. Kind of a little update back on our streetlight audit. Patrick's been working tirelessly on that, getting lights that are out turned back on, and some that they can't seem to get worked out. But we did receive a mapping back from KU about what they have in their system, and we're kind of comparing notes as far as what we have. We have found quite a few discrepancies. I'm gonna have Pat come in when we get it all ironed out as far as moving forward with, because we found some things that we are paying for and some things that we're not paying for. So just got to iron out exactly what the city wants to do as far as what we're going to pay for, if that makes sense. Because there's some neighborhoods that are on, some neighborhoods that aren't. So not sure the rhyme or reason. But yeah, it's just part of it. We'll, as we get updated with that, we'll get Pat to come in. We'll have a report for that as well. I handed out our asphalt. I wanted to get a quick update as far as what our outlook is for this year. Of course, you see spring 2026, so everything here, Anita Springs, Majestic Woods, and Springhouse Estates, we intend to do before the next fiscal year. So we already have most of Anita Springs and Majestic Woods prepped as far as storm basement repairs. We still have Springhouse to go through, but that shouldn't be hopefully terrible. And then, of course, the outlook on the second page in yellow is moving forward thereafter. Woodland Lakes is coming up. We had a few repairs that we were going to do in there, but we're just going to patch it until we repave it. So this all pretty much no particular order. We know it's the next thing's up. We can really move it back and forth as far as what we get done. Another big one in there is Commerce Parkway. We're going to try to line that up with Allen Lane project to get it at the same time, so we're not overlapping. Kevin, you know when the projected completion is on Allen Lane by chance?
You know when they're opening your bid for sure.
Yeah.
March 19th.
It's going to be a 2 or 3 year
It'll
project?
be at least 2 years, probably 3.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if we can wait that long. We'll try. Patch it up best we can, keep moving along, but that is all of that. If you have any questions about that, let me know. And sometimes it changes around, but that's the gist of most of it. We got most of our new equipment. The only thing we're still waiting on is our tractor. We've got our 2 F-450s, bucket truck and sweeper. Steve put together some pictures of some of our equipment. And we surplused our bucket truck, our old bucket truck, at the last meeting. And we just, at auction in Friday, we sold the bucket truck for $13,900 on Gov Deals. So it's actually a little more than I anticipated. I think I estimated $12,000 for the bucket truck. So far so good, but we do have 2 more written determinations for our 317 wheel loader, which is the John Deere. You want to read these all the way through, Mayor?
Yes.
All right.
Just tell us what the piece of equipment is, and then we'll have a motion and a roll call vote to
See, I
surplus
gotta
it.
run all the way through it. First up is the 317 John Deere skid loader.
Okay.
See, the written determination for disposal of personal property. Whereas the Kentucky Revised Statute KRS 82.083 states in pertinent part, 1, a city may sell or otherwise dispose of any of its real or personal property. 2, before selling or otherwise disposing of any real or personal property, the city shall make a written determination setting forth and fully describing A, the real or personal property, B, its intended use at the time of acquisition, C, the reason why it is in the public interest to dispose of it, and D, the method of disposition to be used. Therefore, the following written determination is hereby set forth and made. A, the city owns certain property, specifically a 2005 317 John Deere skid loader, serial number T00317E118725. B, the city intended to use this truck with equipment as a public works vehicle at the time of acquisition, and that intended use was fulfilled. C, it is in the public interest to dispose of this property. The cost of continued storage or maintenance exceeds the value to the city. And D, this vehicle will be sold at public auction. And let's see, you want to vote on that one now, or you want to do them both? Then
No, we'll vote on that one, and we'll have a roll call vote. Who'd make the motion? And
Motion.
Motion made by Jason,
Second.
second by Joe, to surplus this piece of equipment that Corey just named. We need a roll call vote. We have a motion second. Please call the roll, Heather.
Councilmember Ricketts,
Yes.
Councilmember Kinzer,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Councilmember Davenport,
Yes.
Councilmember Powell,
Yes.
Councilmember Tamer,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor. Yes.
one more, the Isuzu Timco sweeper, written determination for disposal of personal property. Whereas Kentucky Revised Statute KRS 82.083 states in pertinent part, 1, a city may sell or otherwise dispose of any of its real or personal property. 2, before selling or otherwise disposing of any real or personal property, the city shall make a written determination setting forth and fully describing A, the real or personal property, B, its intended use at the time of acquisition, C, the reasons why it is in the public interest to dispose of it, and D, the method of this disposition to be used. Therefore, the following written determination is hereby set forth and made. A, the city owns certain property, personal property, specifically a 2006 Isuzu Timco sweeper, VIN number JALE 5B16X 679000411. B, the city intended to use this truck as a public works vehicle at the time of acquisition, and that intended use was fulfilled. C, it is in the public interest to dispose of this property. The cost of continued storage or maintenance exceeds the value to the city. And D, the vehicle will be sold at public auction.
Motion.
Motion by Jason Kinzer,
Second.
second by Lucy. Any discussion on the motion? Call the roll, please, Heather.
Councilmember Ricketts,
Yes.
Councilmember Kinzer,
Yes.
Councilmember
Yes.
Councilmember Davenport,
Yes.
Councilmember Powell,
Yes.
Councilmember
Councilmember Kramer,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We'll be listing those on Gov Deals hopefully this week. Get them gone, get them out of our way because we're running out of room. So, any questions for me?
There's not any lighting on Eden Parkway or anywhere out there, is there? Like,
Not
on the
yet.
Harris Parkway, you know, just wait till.
There's a little bit by Rawlings, but
Uh,
there's a little by Rawlings, but not a
nothing
lot.
on, Ernie Harris or.
It's pretty dark.
It's real dark. I didn't know, I mean, I figured maybe just developed or something, but Eden Parkway and Ernie Harris is. I don't have much travel, but
I'm not sure about Ernie Harris. I don't think there's a little bit of lighting out there. For sure.
Do you have any reason to place any minimums on these two pieces of equipment, a minimum bid of something?
We
Or
can't,
can someone
yeah.
just bid
Even after the
$1,000
auction's
and
over,
$1,000 get either one of them?
It's like eBay or whatever. You pretty much, once the auction ends, you have to sell it. But Gov Deals is set up to where you don't have to accept the final bid.
You don't?
It's called a reserve, right?
Right. You don't have to do that.
Reserve.
The city reserves the right to not accept any of the bids.
Oh, okay.
So, which is
Okay.
nice.
Yes, Kevin.
Just
You wanna-
one thing to follow up on Joe's question or whatever.
Come on. Are you on the speaker?
Yes, I think so. Anyway, I've been talking to Jim Sellerman and that section of Ernie Harris. I've gotten some calls about it too, about being so dark, especially on the 53 end. That's a state highway, so we've been checking to see what we can do to get them to look into putting some lights out there. But it's all the way across. Ernie Harris is pretty dark until you get out on the Rawlings end. So, but I think it's being looked at on the state level.
It's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, could I drive it night time?
Right.
Kevin, that curve on Commerce by the Buckner Kroger is really dark as well. I don't know if that's in your area or not, but I've noticed driving it myself. It's really dark.
I will look into that. It's not my district, but I am the chairman of the road committee. So,
Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at it.
Okay. Corey, anything else?
You're talking about cleaning, when y'all was cleaning snow up. Steve back there, I really enjoyed seeing him with that,
Yeah.
cleaning them sidewalks.
Yeah, Parks Department helped us out a bunch.
Huh?
Parks Department definitely helped us out a bunch as far as.
He was
all the
out
small
there
thing
getting
stuff.
that. Those people walk them dogs down through, Kentucky, Main Street there from
Yeah, we
from
cleaned the
Jaeger
walking
on through,
trail.
and I saw him out there shoving that off, and it looked great.
I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Corey,
Thanks,
thank
Corey.
you, sir. Appreciate it. Steve Mahoney, Steve too, as Joe just mentioned, he was out there trying to help where he could with his equipment. Help join in with Corey and his guys to help get Main Street open back up. I know they probably worked at Eagle Creek out there as well. Steve did within the park system and also tried to make our parks areas accessible. So thank you too, Steve, for what you've done during a snow disaster.
Absolutely. First order of business from our friends at the Train Museum. They had a nice celebration the Saturday that the snow came in at 1:00. So the Make-A-Wish Foundation, they have a family and they presented this 4-year-old child on the screen there. The one in the gray on the very left, his name is Atlas. He received an expense-paid trip to Disney World from the Kids Wish Foundation, and he was more excited about the Buzz Lightyear letter because it was autographed by Buzz Lightyear, but received that through the Train Museum. And Ken Hoff, the new chairman of the Train Museum, informs me that the Kids Wish Foundation has designated the Train Museum as a special event revenue as far as their directory. So that's pretty
awesome.
cool. So I saw Ken earlier today and I told him I would make sure we would mention that for him. Also, Scott Tree stopped me just moments ago and said the water is back on in the building. We are not going to the restroom. We're going to plow so we can go home. You can go to the restroom at home and we're going to keep rolling. But he also reminded everybody in this area here to make sure you follow the Boyle protocol, this and that. But the water is back on. Next for me, we did a New Year, New You event at the beginning of the year with the yoga and line dance folks. that picture's there are the donations we collected for the Humane Society wish list items. And it was kind of unique items that you might not think of, as far as like beach towels and baby wipes and stuff that they use for their pups as they care for them and stuff. So we collected all those items, and I think about 90% of the folks that were in attendance had not been to a yoga or a line dance class here. So that was a win as well on that Saturday night that we did that. Couple of projects we've been working on the last month. The top left picture is a closet in the JCTC classroom, and we just refurbished it and made them a nice little testing area. So I want to thank Dual for his hard work on that. That just had a bunch of randomness in it. So we made them a nice little testing area that just goes a long way for their EL classes. The top right is a device we made through the pickleball folks. It's a floor drag system that would cost me about $700. We did it for about 170, made it in-house, bought the towels. I got a solution I mix up for the folks, and all their rentals in the afternoon. Since they're recurring coaches, I have sent them training photos of me in action using it so they would follow along. The bottom left photo is some gates that Dual has been working on during the cold season and fence projects around Mundo and Wilburn that he is refurbing, especially in the really cold days they can't not get outside. In the top right, we did wax all the floors upstairs, so sorry to the inconvenience of having to close the steps a couple days, but the upstairs floors did get waxed, and they should be good for the rest of the year, we hope. Next, Joe mentioned it, had a little fun on our moto, and it was kind of fun working with Corey getting the tight spots, but the top left, able to get that sidewalk, that is right where you saw me at, Joe. And I tried it out, and it's wide enough. So I'd say anytime we build any new sidewalks, make sure it's at least 4 foot wide, because it's perfect. And was able to get that because there's a lot of dog walkers that walk through spring parks and stuff. Able to get to that other sidewalk in the bottom right is for tourism in front of there. That new little section able to get through there. And then the top right photo, that's the walking path on Commerce. And that was pretty stacked up. And it was kind of a guess in the dark. But the good old Boris the Taurus, that's the name of the moto, plowed right on through. So we had a good time cleaning it up. So the system with Corey having a good time out there. And I appreciate the budget that I inherited to purchase that equipment, because it's come in very, very handy for the sidewalks we have. And then Eagle Creek update. So if you want to buy a golf membership, you get 5% off your renewal if you renew by March 1st. Host sponsorships are available. Just to update everyone, I have about 7 of those claimed of the 18, and just really started on it last week. That is a picture up there, hole number 10, in the black thing underneath of it that says sponsored by. That's the sponsored by plate. The Rogers Group has claimed hole 17, I believe. I mocked them up, and they've actually approved that. I have to take it to the golf board for approval for any sponsorship. But they've actually loved their design, and that's just kind of what it's going to look like. So folks that are watching at home, if you're interested in sponsoring a hole, we have about, what we got left? 18 minus 7. We'll just say 10, 11. So there you go. So anyway, so they're going fast, and especially once I start cranking them out there. So that's just an example of what one of the sponsorships will look like. I think it'll look nice with the white up against the black signage. And last but not least, skate night is next week, February 13th, and we've added a new date, April 10th. I'm aware that is on spring break. That is the only Friday I could make it happen. And I'm okay with that, because not everyone gets the same spring break that everybody gets. So that could be a great spring break activity for the families that don't get those trips and stuff. So Friday, April 10th is a new date, but so we have February 13th next Friday, March 13th, and then April 10th. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Steve.
Thank you.
Wait, I do have a question.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Did I hear that they were sleigh riding on the hill behind the park?
They were.
Okay.
Yeah, I think me and Corey have talked about planting something in there. Or who was I talking about? Maybe it's Patrick I was talking about. Planting some type of something to stop.
For a jump?
That was my first thought.
That's, you know.
But we do have that new pavilion we moved there. And there could have been a collision or two with the pavilion, I heard. I wasn't there. I think a child went down the big hill behind Springs and ran right into the pavilion. So maybe we need some shrubbery to soften the blow a little bit.
Just a big enough jump to clear it.
Just, yeah, that's it. So.
Get a Dukes of Hazzard horn on their sleigh.
That's right.
I don't know. There's not too many places in LaGrange. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we used to use the Sutherland's Hill off of Madison Street, and people who not around here in the 60s probably wouldn't know that. But it went down there into, I don't know, it's the villas down there in Madison Street where it used to go to. But
You would not believe how many kiddos you see sledding at the skateboard park.
oh, I bet so.
Easy hill to climb, and it's instant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see them doing it. So there you go.
Thank
Many
you, Steve.
levels. Yes, sir.
I will say I was at the last skate night we had here, and this place was absolutely packed with skaters, parents. I've never seen so many kids in there skating on a Friday night, but it was very great to see all the kids having fun here. And I'm glad we're able to start using our gymnasium to allow that to happen here instead of them not having anything to do on Friday night. Okay, let's keep moving, folks. We're about to get through here, I think. Item 18, our committee reports. Tonight, we have Parks and Recreation and our Ordinance Committee, and our first report tonight will come from Trey Kamer.
Thanks, Mayor. We met on January 21st here at City Hall for about 2 hours and spoke about many of the things that Steve went over, the activities calendar, just processes and procedures. We had a very lengthy agenda, and we did not make it through probably half of it. So we're planning on meeting again on this next Wednesday, the 11th at 5:00 to try to finish out the items that we did not get to. But we did spend a lot of time talking about our buildings and calendars and things for the upcoming year that Steve's given some highlights on.
Is that it?
That's all I've got.
Okay, anyone have any questions for Trey from his committee? If not, we'll keep moving. Laura Taylor with the Ordinance Committee. Laura?
We met on the 20th of January at 5:00 and discussed the sign ordinance at length. Stephanie Winther had put some effort into merging a sign ordinance from Pewee Valley with the current LaGrange sign ordinance. She and I also spent some time together working on that, and we would like to get that ready for first reading in March, if possible. Beach wanted to go over it a little bit more thoroughly prior to having that first reading, which is why we didn't do it today. But that's what we spent the entire meeting on. So we'll continue with that in the next meeting on the 10th to see if we can get that ready for March.
Okay. Is that it, Laura?
That's it.
Anyone have any questions for Laura? If not, we're going to move to item 19, our last public comment for the evening. Anyone here want to speak? Last public comment. Okay.
Mayor, I'd like to recognize Mike Thompson and Sarah Little and Kevin Jeffries for coming to city council meetings and being a part of everything, being active and speaking up at public comment where they feel they have something to add, to input. Anyway, I just thought it would be nice to recognize them for showing up and being a part of the community and being active and their voices being heard. So that's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Jason. 20, open discussion related to any old business. Anyone want to bring up anything related to any old business? Okay. 21, open discussion related to any new business.
That'd be me. I'd
excuse
like
me?
to bring something up, Mayor, if possible for new business.
sir.
I would like to bring to the council a amendment for ordinance 31.20 of the Code of Ordinances relating to ethical governances and qualifications for the elective office. So I can either read it here, or how would you like for me to present that, from the podium or from here?
Are you suggesting this is a first reading of an ordinance, or you just want to
Yeah,
bring
no,
it up?
I would like to suggest this as a first reading.
Okay.
Okay. So I would like to bring to the council as a first meeting Whereas the City Council of LaGrange recognizes that public office is a public trust and that maintaining public confidence in municipal government is essential to the effective governance. And whereas the City Council finds that even the appearance of favoritism, undue influence, or the authority among close family members serving concurrently in elective office may undermine public trust, and regardless of whether actual misconduct occurs, and whereas establishing clear, objective, and uniform ethical standards for eligibility to hold elective office promotes transparency. That is very important in the city and county. If you're any part of social media, fairness and accountability, and protects both the public and the elected officials from ethically compromising situations. And whereas the City Council finds that limiting services in elective office among immediate family members is a responsible and narrowly tailored measures to address the ethical concerns, and whereas the City Council further finds that the language adopted herein as has been implemented by other municipalities, including the City of Redmond, Oregon, as the best practice in municipal ethics governance. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Council of LaGrange, Kentucky as follows. Section 1 amended. Section 31.20 of LaGrange Code of Ordinances is hereby amended by crediting the new Section H to read as follows. H, no person shall hold elective office while he or she has a spouse, domestic partner, parent, step-parent, or child, stepchild during any city mayor or city council elected term limit. This ordinance shall become effective upon its passage and publication during its law. Now, there are just a few key points that I wanted to talk about that kind of justified this and brought me to this, only because if anybody is on social media in the city and the county, everybody knows that transparency is big in whatever goes on around here. So it also is this, it seems like this election has gotten even worse from the last election. And I've lived here for 48 years. And, you know, it's just, it seems to continue to grow. And I'm trying to start, you know, I'm trying to put something in place here, because if, you know, you've got a lot of groups, you've got a lot of people that talk, and it seems like nobody really wants to talk about the pink elephant in the room, but I'll be the one to bring it out, and at least we can just talk about it, discuss it, and address it. But I thought that it was important based on what I've heard, what others have heard, what's been brought to myself, what's been brought to other people. So I just, you know, I said, you know what, somebody's got to do it, so why not be me? So ethics-focused amendment to section 31.20. This ordinance starts from a simple principle. Public office is to be a public trust. Our responsibility is not only to act ethically, but to ensure the public has confidence in how its government operates. Even when no wrongdoing occurs, the appearance of favoritism or undue influence can erode public confidence. This ordinance addresses those concerns proactively before this takes effect, basically. By setting a clear objective rule in the code, we protect the public and we protect elected officials from being placed in ethically difficult positions. This ordinance is narrowly tailored. It applies only to the family members' relationships listed, and only to concurrent service. It does not restrict general candidacy or participation in public life. This language is not experimental. It was taken word for word from an ordinance already adopted and implemented by other municipalities as the best practice in ethics governance. This ordinance is not about an individual, current or future. It is neutral, forward-looking standards that applies equally to everyone. Ultimately, this ordinance is about protecting the long-term credibility of our city government, clear ethical standards, help ensure decisions are judged on their merits, not on relationships. Ethics rules best work when they are clear, neutral, and in place before problems arise. This is exactly what this ordinance does.
Just being Lucy and I can't get married now.
Oh, you still can, I guess. I don't know what Wendy's gonna say.
Kenneth, I have a couple things on that.
Sure.
We brought this up at KLC because I initially had concerns about this too. The KLC attorneys addressed and answered this. They said not only is it not unethical, but it's also very, very common. Kentucky's one of the states that has 1 million counties in it. It's almost impossible to find people to run for public office where they're not related. So again, they said not only is it not unethical, but it is very, very common, and it happens all over the entire state. So we would be unique. Secondly, because you're running for city council and this would disqualify one person, thereby improving your chances to become a city council member, I think you should recuse yourself from this vote.
There won't be any vote
3
tonight,
people
anything.
would be affected.
There
For
won't
one,
be,
there's-
there won't be
there's-
any vote tonight on anything.
There's not. And, you know, there's 120 counties in the state of Kentucky. Oldham County has over 70,000 residents in Oldham County. The city has over 10,500 residents within the city limits. And finding somebody to run for office doesn't seem to be a problem the last 4 years that we've had an election. We had 17 people run for city council to fill 8 seats. We had 18 people this time. And the election, I believe, before that, we had 8 people. So there wasn't even an election. And I believe that was, don't quote me to it, but I think that was the one Kevin Cronin could probably, but I believe that was the one that he ran, and it was there were 8 people that signed up.
I think we let the voters
I would
decide
say
who they
that
want and don't
this
want.
the reason I'm really bringing this up is because it just seems that it's starting to escalate. There's a lot of chatter of different organizations, different groups, different people, however you want to put it, that seem to want to stack, whether it's a council, whether it's a county seat, whether it's a state seat, whatever. But I think it needs to be talked about in the open. A lot of people want to know this. A lot of people see it, and but nobody wants to bring it to light. So, you know, there's only one way to do it, and that's to bring it to the table and address it. So,
In that era of transparency, are you going to be publicly posting this to be reviewed?
Hey, Sarah, you can't do that just spurting off like that. If, you know, let me hear what he has to say, but you just spurting off, and I just can't have that. So go ahead, Ken.
well, you know, transparency is obviously a big part of what everybody what everybody talks about. So being transparent is being transparent. You know, I've lived here 48 years. I've never seen what we have right now. Somebody else might have seen it before me. Joe, you were mayor before me, or before I was elected. You know, John, you've been mayor before. But, you know, it's obviously an issue because people brought it up and people are talking about it. So
KLC addressed and answered it.
What's that?
KLC addressed it and answered it.
But
As I said, we were all there at the city
Yeah.
training. They said not only is it not unethical, it's very common.
But that's
Regular practice.
just because it says that KLC says that it's not uncommon, Jason. I mean, you and I have had this conversation.
They also have said it
before.
wasn't unethical.
No, you're exactly right, but it has to do with the city of LaGrange. It doesn't have to do with with anything else other than us. We can make our own rules. And I know that you and I've had the conversation prior to this that, you know, you at one time felt that it was a good idea as well.
And it was also stated at that very same meeting that if we wanted to make a change or make a stipulation, we could do it by ordinance. That each city or municipality could do it on their own.
So who wrote this, Kenneth? Did you write this? Did you put this together, pen and paper? Or did
Yeah,
you print
Jason,
it out?
I actually
Did you-
had help with, I did this by myself and with
Did you?
my wife's help,
Yeah.
but you know, she's not an elected official, so yeah, I did.
Did anybody at City Hall help you
No, they
put
didn't.
it together?
No,
Did
they
it go,
wouldn't.
did it go to the ordinance committee?
No, it didn't, and I don't need to.
You don't, huh?
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, I mean,
I'm just asking you a question.
I'm just answering yours. You know,
Okay.
I know that there's been times that we've come in and you've handed those things out as well. that
Yeah,
didn't take-
I'm just asking so people know. Yeah, I didn't know if you
I'm
were gonna.
I'm just answering your question.
Okay.
I had nobody from City Hall help me write this. I took it to the mayor myself. I took it to the city or the city attorney myself.
When was that?
Just Friday of
Right?
last week.
Yeah. How come this wasn't in our packet?
Because I didn't have to. It's under new business, Jason.
You didn't want to give people a notice until like last second. That's transparency right there, Kenneth.
Sounds like I've hit a nerve with you, Jason.
No, it sounds like you're trying to get 3 people taken off the ballot.
Hey, hold on.
I didn't
Please,
say I was
please,
doing anything.
Please,
But it sounds like you've taken this kind of personal.
please.
I'm just saying.
When you're finished speaking,
Yeah, I'm
then
you know,
I'll-
Mayor,
I'll call
this is
on-
exactly
know,
why I did
know,
this.
I know, but
This is
you-
exactly why I did
You
it.
talk and then,
And ethically seems to be a big word that's thrown around. You were just throwing around probably
Yeah.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So ethically, Jason,
Yeah.
if you don't have a problem with this, or you do have a problem with this, I'd love to hear what your situation with this would be ethically.
I'm
with
sure
my
we'll have
doing
a
this.
we'll have a big second reading and talk about this. Sure, that's fine. I just was asking
And
where
this-
it came from. You know, who you utilized to help you, if anybody, and just trying to get a little
you know,
background.
just because somebody's not maybe an attorney,
Oh no, I'm not criticizing
or
anyone at
you
all.
know,
No,
maybe you can do research on your own.
no, I'm just asking where it came from. That was it. You said Oregon,
And it
so I didn't
came
know.
from different ordinances. If you look,
You said
There's
Oregon
actually
though,
one from-
Redmond, Oregon. So I just wanted
yeah,
to make sure.
no, it doesn't matter.
You said it was word for word from Redmond, Oregon. So I figured maybe did you click print?
No, I
from-
did not. And if you go through there
Okay.
and print that, you'll probably see that it's not.
okay, here's where we are.
Okay.
Mr. Craig Mile, any city councilman person has the right to introduce an ordinance, correct? Correct or not correct?
Correct.
Okay, once the ordinance is introduced, as Kenneth says, as a first reading, then do we automatically schedule it for a second reading and a public hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you can schedule it the next day.
No, I'm talking about next month for a public hearing.
Yeah, it can come up, yeah.
Okay.
it's- Normally,
Okay.
you would have it at the next meeting.
Would you have to approve the form that Kenneth Powell has put this ordinance in as to the form that is acceptable to have a second reading in its right form? The ordinance
Yeah,
itself.
that's what I do, is I make sure it's valid as to form. I've already looked at it. Meets the minimum requirements of an ordinance, which is
Okay,
have the leading sentence that says it is ordained, and then it has the language.
okay, so you've viewed it, so just as long as it's in the right form, we will go ahead and move that this is the first reading, the notification, of the first reading, we'll have a second reading on March the 2nd and a public hearing. Okay?
Correct.
Okay, case over with.
One more question, Mayor. I didn't know if there's a limit to the number of whereases. I've been told that we don't need a lot of whereases in our previous things that I've provided because I had like 5, 6, and this has 5 or 6. I just wonder why that opinion by the city attorney is a little bit different now. That's what I thought.
Any comment, Mr. Quagmire?
I recall that one as well.
We know where this is. We get it.
Okay,
Well, let me read what it says here, that the city council finds these things. So
Does it?
the whereas is, he's projecting it into the future that it will be found by y'all, that the language is.
I don't recall voting that I found the appearance of consolidation of authority among close family members. So this is saying the city council finds this. I don't remember voting that I found that. So no, this is an opinion. It's not a fact. Did you vote for that, Jason? As a city council
I
member?
thought we're looking at an
So no, the
ethics
city
ordinance
council did
anyway.
not
I
find
don't
this.
know why this wouldn't be in the ethics.
Hey,
ordinance.
listen, you asked city attorney a question about the whereases.
Yeah, I did.
Did he give you an answer?
I don't know that he did, but that's okay.
Okay, all right, so we'll move and set this for a public hearing on March the 2nd. Okay, second reading and a public hearing. Okay? All right.
So we're still under new business, right?
Yes, sir. You have something?
I'm thinking about bringing an ordinance that nobody over 5'3" should be able to be on the city council. Kidding, obviously.
Okay, all right. While we're on discussion of topics, Laura just mentioned tonight that she was not able to get the first reading of ordinance together for the sign ordinance and new ways of setting timetables for political signage. And it's still, in my opinion, out there still lingering, even though we've all signed up for offices. We're in the midst of an election. We're trying to put together our strategies. We're meeting with sign people, probably more than likely to talk about signage. But there's just too many things, in my opinion, honest opinion, that whether it affects you, myself, the folks sitting in the audience, they are trying to figure out what is their campaign going to look like. And, you know, I've talked to Mr. Craigmile about this. I've talked to a council member or two about this matter. And I just feel like we're at a situation that we have the ability to require an early voting form from the county clerk as soon as April the 4th. Well, if this thing had come out of committee tonight, the time you've been able to put up a sign in the city based on what was discussed at the ordinance committee was April 1st. Well, if you're getting ready to vote and put your name down on the ballot as to who you're voting for, you've only had 4 days of actual visual time to see a sign, then I don't think that's appropriate timetable to gauge whether anybody is a viable candidate, who they are. They've only had 4 days possibly with what the first reading was going to say tonight. I feel like at this time, we cannot continue to push this sign ordinance onto the council, onto these candidates, and not knowing what the rules and the regulations are. For example, until this ordinance gets passed at a second reading, which will now be at least April, because the first reading would be in March, the second reading public hearing would be in April, you are not allowed to put more than one sign in your yard facing a street for any other candidate other than one choice. I think when you have 18 people running, I think there's probably more likelihood that you might be for at least 2 of them. But with what the law says now in our city ordinance, you can only put one sign out there to support one person out of 18. So I have, with the council's approval, tried to, once again, where we are with this situation, I don't think it's anything we should push through quickly. And I think also the fact that we're going to actually charge political people $50 to put a sign up, I think that's unheard of as well. I don't care if we exempt the businesses in this time period to let them put up what they choose, but I think when you're trying to suggest to the public you're a candidate for an office, but yet you're going to be charged to put up a sign of 4 by 4 or 16 square feet, I think that's a little bit unheard of too. I doubt very often can you find a county in Kentucky, I doubt, or a city that charges you to put up a political sign. You know, you usually go to many counties and cities and you see somebody running for master and they've got it on the side of a 50-gallon barrel. You know, I mean, it's just all kinds of things out there in the Commonwealth. The city, the Oldham County, they don't require anything. You can put up a billboard, a sign, a 4 by 8, a 6 by 6, a 3 by 6, you name it. You can put it up out there and they're not going to say one thing about it. So I would like to tomorrow enact another executive order, and this order will say, Whereas at the city council meeting on October 7th, 2024, following a first reading and brief discussion, ordinance number 15, series 2024, Exhibit A, there being an actual controversy involving enforcement of regulations for displaying temporary freestanding signs relating to their size, number, and time periods under 290-120 of the zoning ordinance. Due to the upcoming 2024 election, the mayor proposed and entered an executive order imposing a 30-day moratorium on enforcement of freestanding signs. Executive Order number 01-2024, Exhibit B. The following month, upon a second reading and public hearing on November 4th, 2025, the council voted to table the proposed ordinance and send the matter back to committee. Now, therefore, the signage controversy is still existing. It's hereby ordered that a moratorium shall be and hereby in effect within the city limits of Grange, imposing a stay upon permitting the placement or number of temporary freestanding signs of 16 square feet or less, at least through and until May 31st of 2026, or until such time as the council can pass lawful amendments or replacements regulating the issue of temporary signage on private property. I would hope that the council would understand this. I'd hope that the person running for office would understand it. And it's just giving us more time, because this has been going on and on and on, but still yet, at this period of time, we still haven't gotten anything timely worked out, and we can still get into more discussions, and I don't even know if it'll be passed in the April month, even though the election's well underway, and the election will be on May 19th. So I will be signing this order tomorrow. I think it's not intended for me. It's not intended for any one of you all. People have said on Facebook that evidently John Black has a lot of 4x4 signs in his garage. I don't have any signs in my garage. I haven't even ordered a sign for this election coming up that I'm going to be entering. I don't have a sign. I haven't decided what kind of signs I'm going to do. But it's not about John Black. It's about each of you all and these folks sitting in the audience tonight that are going to be seeking office. Let's don't get so caught up in how big a sign can be. This is part of the political process across America. You see everything out there. And I don't think people in the public mind it. I don't think businesses even recognize it. If a business wants to put up a 4x4 during this time period, once we set one, then let's let them do it, if that's what it takes. But we should not suppress the ability for anyone to advertise their candidacy. There's some folks who have a better way and more exposure in a day's time in our city than others. Some people are in business here to get every day. Some people don't have that luxury. They're trying to get their name out there and be a viable candidate. So let's try to understand that. And it's not about any one person, myself included. So it's about you guys and you ladies, you know?
Mayor, I'd like to speak whenever you get a chance. I won't
Okay.
cut you off.
And I'm finished with that, and that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow.
All right. Couple things. One, you mentioned not suppressing anybody. We just heard a thing to suppress what voters may want as far as their available candidates. Number two, I asked this, Mayor, I agree with you that the sign ordinance is way too restrictive. I absolutely agree with you. However, I asked this exact scenario at KLC to their attorneys, and they said, no, an executive order cannot override an ordinance. Only city council can pass an ordinance or reverse an ordinance. Now, I agree with you that this sign ordinance the one that we have, I don't know where it came from, but it's ridiculous. It's way too restrictive. So I agree with you that we need to get rid of it, but is there a way that we can do it legally? Because according to KLC, you can't do an executive order and overrule an ordinance that was passed by the full council. So maybe we can do a first reading by the full council tonight for a moratorium until the 31st. That way we're legal and we're on track with everything. We can use the same verbiage, but instead of an EO, make it an ordinance.
Well, you can make it a resolution approving the executive order, which would transform it into a municipal order.
Does that hold the same weight, though, for overriding an ordinance? I don't know that it does, Beach.
Well, you're going to find somebody that's going to argue about this no matter what. they're gonna say it's an abuse and it's a use of executive power for legislative purposes. That's what they're gonna say. But you did it 2 years ago, and because it was necessary. It was reasonably necessary at that time because of the confusion and you wanna know where this ordinance came from, it's the county's ordinance. We didn't ever pass an ordinance for the signs. We just adopted the county's. Okay, so it's just their code officer doesn't enforce it. Ours does because it gets out of hand sometimes. And it was getting at a point of we were trying to change it 2 years ago. And then it went to a first reading and a second reading. And you all had it at the second reading. And then you said, well, let's just pass it. So you had it 2 years ago. You had it a year ago, and nothing's been done for a year on correcting this. And the mayor's is trying to take a little lead here and help people that want to vote.
I agree. I agree.
Advertise for their additions without the code officer feeling obligated to come and write them a ticket. Say, hey, you got to pay $50.
She and Aaron aren't going to break the law. And I don't want to do that either, Beach. I don't want to break the law. So maybe let's do both. Let's do a first reading today with the same verbiage for the council. You can check with KLC or whatever to make sure if we can do a municipal order and that will override an ordinance, great. If not, at least we've got the first reading done. So next month we can nail it.
It won't override an ordinance. You can't do that. Okay.
What?
Or you can just do like other political leaders and just ignore the law.
Well, I don't want to do that, Beach. That's why I'm bringing this up. It's not to be a pain in the butt, because I agree that the sign ordinance, the current one that we've had for years, is too restrictive. If it was up to me, we'd do away with it completely. And if we come up to a problem later on, somebody putting a million signs everywhere being ridiculous, then we deal with that as it comes on. But I think it's too restrictive as it is.
There's going to be a million signs at Dairy Queen. I promise you.
Yeah.
Unless this goes into effect, they only get one. Okay. I mean, that's all they can get right now until this is changed anyway. That's all they get is one sign at Dairy Queen. They usually have everybody in the county at Dairy Queen. So that's what I'm talking about. It's
kind of nice because you can see who all's running.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can just choose your
It's like a bulletin board.
choose your 12 people right there by sitting at a stoplight. So this is all this is about. Now I can probably just tell. Now I can do this. I don't even do executive for. I just tell Aaron and Winther just to turn your eyes for about 30 days. I mean, that's what I mean. It's just a shame that you can put one sign out for a Kevin Jeffries had enough. He's leaving. He's going to put that sign right now. I see he's going. Kevin Jeffries. Hey, wait a minute. Kevin Jeffries he walks out on this because out in the county they have the same ordinance. They just don't enforce it. They don't enforce it. I mean, those 4x8s, 10x12s, you name it. It's out in the county. But you come in here as a candidate, then we got to tell these folks that you can't do this in our city. But I was just trying to see perhaps if we could make it a countywide non-issue matter and see if we get through one more election until Laura and them bring this out of committee.
Now, one thing I would like in the meeting on that we had earlier this month on the 20th, I felt that we were really close to bringing that sign ordinance to the meeting tonight for a first reading. And Beach was very much against that. And I feel like he was being an obstructionist during that meeting regarding that ordinance. So he also stated that we hadn't been covering the ordinance, we hadn't discussed it, which we have many, many, many times. So I feel a little frustrated that then the mayor comes up with this with a much larger size sign than what we're proposing in the new ordinance. 16 square feet is quite large. So I personally have a problem with the idea of our city attorney being an obstructionist and then coming up with a much larger sign for
Agreed.
this election period.
No, Kenny Powell had those same size signs last time, and this is what we had this exact meeting about, was the 4x4s, which is 16 square feet. Kenny put them up. They look beautiful, and that's what we were asking for this time, Laura. I'm not trying to create anything more than whatever, but we've been through this even with Kenny signs, but now they want to charge you $50 a shot to put them up.
So we're
$50 a
doing this
shot.
in a special way to help Kenny? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Well, that's
no,
what it sounds like.
No.
Thanks, John. I think I just pissed enough people off tonight.
Okay, here's.
I agree with the spirit, Mayor, but let's do it. Let's do it legally.
Wait a minute.
These things, when I
Jason,
pass them out,
hold
I
on.
appreciate it, okay? Okay, a year ago, you said you wanted to change it to 16 square feet. And so that's all he did a year ago, is he changed it to 16 square feet. That was fine, and you all approved it. If you all don't want it to be 16 square feet, then you should. But this sign ordinance that Stephanie Winter has written all by herself, I'm just uncomfortable with having a non-lawyer write about a 12-page ordinance, word for word, single space, and just sign off on it, okay?
She's an elected official.
Okay, she's
No, she's not.
she's not. an
Oh, it's not
elected
Stephanie.
official.
I'm sorry. I thought
She's
you
an
were saying
appointed official.
Laura's
She's not an
ordinance was.
attorney. She doesn't have a PhD and all that stuff, okay? She's not a licensed attorney in the state of Kentucky. She's not supposed to be writing ordinances, okay? And so, and she's not an elected official, and she's not a legislator. But I would like to have a chance to read that in detail, because that's what I do. And this ordinance that we are writing didn't come from Pewee Valley. It came from Prospect. It was written in Prospect in 1991 and hasn't been overturned and upheld. That's why I wanted to follow something simple like that. This one thing that we're changing right now, which is just to let the mayor give the code enforcement officer a free ticket for writing ordinances or violations for stuff that he doesn't want to happen. And so I wouldn't get mad at John for this, because he's trying to get everybody to have a right to put up signs. But number two is that you all can, if you would want to, if you agree with what he's trying to do, all you have to do is pass a resolution, or you all can somebody can make a motion to approve the mayor's executive order.
I make the motion to approve the mayor's executive order.
I'll second it.
A resolution to override an ordinance in the city of LaGrange, Kentucky.
That's not the way you phrase it. The resolution confirms the order and converts an executive order into a municipal order.
Okay.
A municipal order, though, is still not a legislation. You all should move on this quickly. It just gives you a chance to put some signs up for the next 60 days.
We have a motion, a second. Rule on the motion of what we have at the moment, Beach. Can you make a ruling on that for me?
Well, the rule of the motion is that
I know what the rule is. Is it,
moratorium should be hereby is effective within the city limits of LaGrange, imposing a stay upon the permitting and placement of the number or temporary, or the placement or number of temporary freestanding signs of 16 square feet or less, at least through May 31st, 2026. So that would at least get you to the primary. And then you've got from May until November to get this thing done. And there's only one clause out of about 12 pages that this thing affects. The actual sign ordinance, which we've been trying to work on for like 4 years now, is not gonna get done in 30 days just because you want it to.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. My question for you, Mr. Craig Mile, they're asking that approve the executive order. So you're gonna stand behind the executive order as a permissible use, correct?
As a permissible use,
Tonight.
I don't understand your.
Well.
Why don't we call
Question-
KLC and
wait,
ask them
Listen,
Look, here's what's gonna happen. He's
Tomorrow.
signing an order, okay? If you all don't wanna have it enforced, then you can challenge it. Is somebody against this order? I mean.
I'm against doing
is
things that aren't
somebody
legal.
against it?
I'm against doing things that aren't the legal way. That's what I'm against.
Well, this is a democracy. Legal is a.
No,
term
it's a
of-
constitutional republic.
What?
It's a constitutional republic.
okay, we have a motion, a second. I guess, we're gonna vote on this. and-
Shouldn't we have some more discussion, Mayor?
Excuse me?
I would like to,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
one of the things that I would like to bring up is in the committee meeting, I asked my fellow committee members, who are Joe Davenport and Lucy Ricketts, what they felt about the size. We were having a lot of discussions about the size requirements. And both Lucy and Joe independently said that they felt like 16 square feet is too large, and they felt more comfortable with a smaller size, such as 8 square feet. So that's what we were going to go for with the committee, and that's what we were discussing. So to then jump to 16 square feet seems like inappropriate to me.
Okay, what do you want? How many feet? 12?
So 4x4 is 16.
We were talking about
So 4 foot
8.
by 4 foot. And that's too big.
A
I don't
stand,
care if they're 32 foot personally, but
a standard sign that the size that we have with the old ordinance is 6 square feet. So we had been discussing going to 8 square feet, which is a little bit larger. A 4x4 sign is quite large. A 16 square foot sign is quite large.
I think
it's a whole other argument, but I don't care if it's 32 foot. I think let the people get their message out there.
I think at the meeting, and it was my interpretation, and you all can tell me if I took it wrong, that we were discussing with Mr. Craig Mowell that, he was talking about the prospects sign ordinance. And we just basically said we wanted to take what we have and make it work for us. And take the prospect sign ordinance out of it and basically rework the one we've got. Wasn't that what we kind of discussed?
What has happened is there was the original ordinance that actually was the county ordinance.
Right.
That we had adopted. Then I misspoke earlier. It was Prospect, not Pee Wee Valley. It was Prospect's ordinance that Beach had presented. And one of the things that was interesting about it was it didn't specify signage according to individual zones like C2 or R4 or
Right.
those
The county
kinds of
does.
zones get very complicated for our code enforcement to regulate. The nice thing about Prospect is it was either a residential area or a commercial area. It's cleaner to just look at it that way. So what we did was we took the idea from Prospect and merged it with the current ordinance that we have to get rid of that confusion, to make it easier for code enforcement and easier for residents and businesses to understand what is expected in terms of signs.
Right. But we really need to come up with our own. And that we kind of left that, wow, this is going to be a bigger undertaking than we felt that it was going to be.
We've been working on the sign
I
ordinance
know.
for a
Oh, I
long
know.
time. And I've gone through
Way
it pretty
before.
carefully. We've discussed it a lot. I feel like there's a couple sticking areas we need to discuss, but we're not that far away.
Good.
from having an ordinance.
And I don't know where this idea that the city attorney tells the city council what to do, what they can and can't do came from. That's not the way it works.
No, I mean,
He's there for advice only. So if he says, I don't think you should do this, all right, I don't care. We're doing it anyway. Secondly, why don't we ask the GOP head who's right here, what's your thoughts on the sign since it's going to be Blaine? Oh, yeah. Once again,
let
I
me
think
ask
the
you
sign
this,
is.
let me ask you this, council, would you have a problem with, change this from executive order to a resolution?
If that's legal,
Well,
why don't we call KLC
no,
tomorrow and find out what's the legal route and make sure we're within the bounds of the law, and then we're good with it. I think it's too restrictive. I don't want to be a pain, but I want to follow the letter of the law, and we're not going by the law. They told us, we were all in attendance, no, an executive order cannot override an ordinance. You cannot
Well,
do a moratorium on an ordinance
What
with
I
an
was,
executive order.
yeah, but since we didn't have the first reading tonight, and that puts us into April, then until April, whether you got 10 signs in your garage or you don't, all you can go out front of your house. I mean, the truth of the matter is, Laura and Jason, they can only put one sign in front of their house for one of them or the other. That's all they can do. They can't put two out there for each of them. They can only put one. So I'm only saying that because they're on the council together and they're two of them. So they can only put one. That's what I was trying to get sort of stayed tonight, for that purpose.
I agree, but Mayor, what if we do a first reading tonight? Pass whatever we want to, but let's also do a first reading tonight so that if nothing else, next month we can do a second reading and pass it and be done. And that way we're in the letter of law. If you talk to KLC tomorrow and they say, no, it has to be done through first reading, second reading, public, at least we've got the first reading. We can knock it out tonight. We can use the exact same verbiage that you did. I'll sponsor it. So where it says John Black Mayor, put Jason Kinzer counselor, and that way we're good on both.
Yeah, but it's only got one whereas in it.
Jason, what is
I saw you grinning over there.
Jason, what is your legal question that you're going to ask the Kentucky League of Cities tomorrow? Because the answer to your question is no, this will not repeal, an ordinance. Is that what you're saying?
Or even temporarily suspend it. They said you cannot do either one.
So what if there was a train derailment in town? And would the mayor be fair? Just place a
I
state
think
of
you
order
do, I
that
think
says
you, I
everybody
think you
stay out of
can
the
do, you can do
streets?
those on an emergency basis, Beach. I do know
Well,
that.
you did this last year for an emergency basis. That's why you did it, because the election was about ready to happen. And people had hundreds of these signs that they didn't want to pay $50 a piece for. So that's what you did last year, and the council agreed with you.
Let's do both is what I'm saying, Beach. Let's do a first reading. I'll put my name on it, change it to a first reading, and we can do the mayor's executive order too. And if we talk to KLC tomorrow and they say, hey, you're good to go with an executive order, no problem.
An executive order will not work. I'm telling you. It will only work if you all approve it. And even then, it won't work because it's not a legislative act, which takes two readings.
We also,
Okay, this is an attempt to just communicate, and hopefully you all won't get hostile.
Well,
but apparently it's not going to happen. If you passed it as a legislative member of the body, that you all are supposed to be in charge of passing the laws, then you all would have a better luck of just standing up if someone was to challenge it, just for the heck of it.
we also have here Exhibit A, which is an ordinance amending sign regulations. I make a motion that we use that as a first
Wait a minute,
reading.
we already have a motion, a second on the table. Okay, now, the only way we can do anything different, Laura, would be for them to back off their second and his first.
My suggestion is to
If they would agree to that.
use Exhibit A as a first reading.
Agreed.
It includes the period of time when there's no limit on the number of freestanding signs. then we would have that problem for the primary.
So you want to reintroduce the same ordinance that failed for failed for the last time? Is that what you want to do?
Exhibit A.
But Exhibit A says you got to have a permit and all that.
No, Exhibit A says that during the period of April 1st through May 31st and September 15th through November 14th,
Oh, okay.
there is no limit to the number of temporary freestanding signs allowed per road frontage. It does have the old verbiage of 6 square feet, but we can just go with that.
I don't like the 2 feet. Can we make it 4 feet? Because 2 feet it's on the ground. You will not be able to see it. So your normal H wires that you put the sign in.
Mayor, I'm going
way
to call
above
for the
2 feet.
question. We have a first and a second to move forward with your executive session order.
You have a first and a second on an EO?
Well, I think the only issue too with calling for the question is pretty clear in Kentucky law. Like you can't
have
call
to
for
vote
the,
on the
you
call for
can't
the
call for the
question, so
question
vote
to
on the
cut off
call.
discussion.
You
cannot
No, you
cut off
cannot.
discussion.
on the call for the question. So if we take the vote and we say, nope, we're going to keep on discussion, then we can keep on discussing.
No, on that.
That's what
No.
I'm saying.
You- I
Yes,
think-
that is.
No, you got to take another vote and it's got to have a majority to end debate.
Correct.
So we have a motion and a second. Okay, on the table, the motion's on the table, motion a second.
For what? What's the motion for? Do we
For
know?
this executive order.
To approve your executive order?
Yes, yes. We have a motion, a second. Motion made by Trey, second by Lucy Ricketts. Roll call vote, Heather.
Councilmember Ricketts,
Yes.
Councilmember Tinter,
No.
Councilmember Taylor,
No.
Councilmember Davenport,
Yes.
Councilmember Powell,
Yes.
Councilmember Tamer,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
No.
4-3.
Pass, fail. Pass. Okay.
But we have something that's passed here that is a executive order that is probably not even legal. Everybody's aware of that, right?
You could pass a resolution.
I'd like to do a first reading, like you said, Laura, of Exhibit A, but change the height of 2 feet to 4 feet. And do a first reading of that right now. Because I have a feeling tomorrow, the legality of what we just did is going to be challenged.
Okay, did you hear what Jason just said? Is that in order for a first reading?
Everybody got Exhibit
He
A?
has to go through the ritual of reading it in formality.
All right.
Read it.
And what you can do is you can read it in summary. And I'll do that out loud so you don't have to do it. City of LaGrange, Kentucky ordinance number X series, I guess this would be ordinance number 4, series 2020.
2-6.
6. And it's an ordinance amending the regulations relating to temporary signs currently incorporated by reference to 290-120 of the Oldham County zoning ordinance. And the nature of that is that temporary freestanding signs of 6 square feet or less with a height of 2 feet or less do not require sign permit. 2 temporary freestanding signs, so you get 2 signs per road frontage are allowed with the consent of the property owner. However, during the periods of April 1st, May 31st, and September 15th and November 14th, there's no limit on the number of temporary freestanding signs allowed per road frontage with the consent of the property. Temporary freestanding signs larger than the aforesaid dimensions will require a temporary sign permit. Is that what you want? If it's larger than 2 by 3 feet, you want people to pay $50.
With the exception of the time periods of April 1st to May 31st and September 15th to November 14th.
And you also mentioned the height.
Yep, and the height, I want to change from 2 feet to 4 feet.
Wait a minute, you start changing stuff like that, we've got a written thing here. What is it? You can't be doing all these verbal changes.
That's not a substantial change. 2 feet to 4 feet's not a substantial change.
So you want 6 feet? 2 feet? by
Height.
3 feet?
Talking about the height.
Yes,
Beach, we're talking about the height.
Height doesn't matter. Okay, we're talking about the
It
shape
does
of
to
the
me.
sign.
Thank you for your advice, but it does to me.
We're talking about the shape of the sign, dimensions of the sign, 2 feet by 3 feet. Okay, don't complicate it with irrelevant stuff like that, okay? I mean, it can be 1,000 feet high if it's 2 by 3. So if.
No, that's not what I want.
What this says to me is that temporary signs that are larger than 2 feet by 3 feet should then are now paid $50. Is that your intention? Because I think that's why this thing was tabled last time.
That's the only thing I want to change. 2 feet to 4 feet on the height. That's it. Number 4, Series 2026. Show it to the rest of the council. 4 feet total height, 2026, ordinance number 4.
I'm
2
gonna,
feet to 4 feet.
I'm gonna introduce ordinance 5, so I don't agree with your ordinance.
All
So,
right, well, I just want to show everybody.
all right, thank you.
4. That's the only changes. All right. Jason, you saw it. Lucy, did you get a chance to see it? So that's the only change there. Would be from 2 feet to 4 feet. Number 4, Series 2026.
So how many square feet is it?
It's like 6. It says 6 square
Oh.
feet.
Did you see that too, Mayor? Sorry. I didn't.
It says 6 square feet. It says 6 right here.
So this is what
That's
I'm
what,
looking
that's what it
at.
can be.
Right, and I don't care about that because it's saying.
So that's a 2 by 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
4 feet
with
high.
a,
That's 12. 3 times 4 is 12, correct? So you want 12 square feet.
no, this says 6, Beach. He's not talking about his square feet. He's not talking about his square feet. He's talking about,
Let me see what he wrote.
with a height of 4 feet or less do not require sign. I don't know what does that mean, Jason? With a height of instead of 2, putting 4 there.
Well, as it
What do you mean by that?
as it was written, the sign could only be 2 feet off the ground. Which, if you have, I mean, we all know you've seen the H wire sign holders. That's way over 2 feet off the ground. 2 feet off the ground would be literally be sitting on the ground. If you have a 2 foot by 3 foot sign, 3 foot wide and 2 foot tall, it's on the ground. It cannot be up on a wire thing, which is ridiculous. I don't know who came up with this ordinance initially, but it's stupid.
Mathematically, 6 square feet with a height of 2 feet can only have one horizontal dimension, and that would be 3.
Yeah, so if you had a 3 foot by 2 foot sign, you're already outside the ordinance. So it was a ridiculous ordinance to begin with, whoever wrote it years ago. Prospector, whoever, it's stupid. Makes sense? You got a 2 foot tall by 3 foot wide sign. It can only be 2 foot off the ground. So it has to be in the grass.
Does it say off the ground? By the
High,
way, the
yeah.
way I interpret the way.
A
the
height.
But the wire is not the sign. The wire is what holds the sign. The sign is what's here, and then the wire's underneath it.
Okay, well, the 4 foot clarifies that a little better.
That's even talking about a sign permit. That's what that's
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah,
That's
except for, however, during the periods of April 1st to May 31st and September 15th to November 14th. And then we can pass our own ordinance out of the ordinance committee and we'll be good to go.
Your dates are still wrong. So you're gonna allow people to put signs up, and then 3 days later they're gonna vote. And same thing with the general election. So the general election is September 19th. So you're
Well, my thought is it gets us there for now. We got something. We can pass the one out of committee.
We already did have something when we took a vote on the municipal order or the executive order.
But that doesn't appear to be legal for the executive to just say, oh, I don't want to observe the ordinance.
Yeah, why do we have a council if the mayor can override all the ordinances?
I'm
There's
just
no reason
doing
for a
it, I'm
council.
just doing this for you all.
If
And the-
EO
and the-
could
and
override
these
all of it.
candidates sitting here, it's too restrictive. It's too
Agreed.
restrictive. That's all I was trying to do. I mean,
Agreed.
I haven't ordered a sign. I don't know nothing about what size I'm gonna order yet. I know it's not gonna be 4x4. Or 4x8.
So do I need to do anything else for this first reading or no, we're good?
Well, you need to get your mathematics to come to the correct answer.
No, I know.
How many
I'm good
square
with
feet
it.
is
Thanks
it?
for your advice, Beach. I'm good with it.
How
The
many
square feet, Beach, are 6 square feet. What he's saying is, when you take your sign, and you prop it up, he doesn't want the sign sitting on the ground and going 2 feet into the air. He wants to give you allowance to put it 2 feet off the ground, then do your 6 square feet. He wants it up in the air. Prospect didn't want stuff up in the air. Prospect didn't want stuff up in there. He wants stuff squished down in the grass.
This is our code. This is the wording from our language, our code. This is our temporary, our current ordinance that is which is one paragraph out of 20 single-space pages that we're trying to change. And we can't even get that right, and you all want to change 20 pages.
Beach, I appreciate your advice. This is what I'm going with. This is my first reading.
Okay, it's 6 square feet with a height of 4 feet or less. So you're saying it's a 6 square foot sign. What difference does it matter what the height is?
Beach, when we had conversations in sign.
Is that a legal
In the
question?
ordinance committee meeting, Stephanie Winther said, how can you do this? And she was questioning it, and she's our code enforcement officer. She felt like you couldn't have a sign that met these requirements. So we had a big discussion about that. Once you
Whoever
put
drew
them
this
on
up
those wire
stupid.
things, the sign is going to sit higher than 2 feet off the ground. It's just going to.
Yep, agreed. So anyway, this is the first reading of this. I think Trey might have another one though if we want to go on. If we want to move on. Do we need to do anything else procedurally?
No, 6 square feet with a height of 4 feet or less. So
Would that be
you're saying
8
the
square feet?
dimensions of the sign
He's
have
8
to
and
be
4.
3 by 3.
You're messing with us.
Yes, I'm messing with you all.
We need some more whereases. All right, what's Trey got? Trey's got something.
Okay, okay, Jason has put a first reading of an ordinance on the table, so we'll have a public hearing on that, I guess, if we get it advertised.
Can I put this on his screen, I guess, so that way I'm not having to walk and show you each. I'll happy to go stand. I'll go with you so I can read it with you.
You're gonna have 2 signs in your yard.
All right, so
Trey, why don't you come around here and get in front of the podium or whatever, if you're going to speak about what's up on the screen, instead of back there behind the.
I'm trying to read. I'm not going to remember exactly what I wrote here, but so Ordinance 5, Series 2026. The changes would be temporary freestanding signs of 12 square feet or less. I've scratched out the part about the whole height restriction. I agree. I think that's ridiculous. And then the only other thing would be to change the dates. So instead of March or April 1st through May 31st, it would be March 1st through May 31st. That way you'd actually have some time to see who's running for what, not just city folks, but folks for other positions across the county. And then same thing for the general election. So that would start on August 1st. So that would give you about a month in advance prior to when you could actually vote for somebody. And then run that through November 30th. So that's the end of the month. So you have time to take down your signs.
As long as that's not a substantial change, I'm good with that, and I can withdraw mine, Trey. I think that's, Beach was mad because I changed 2 to 4. He didn't want to change that, so I'm good with this.
I just don't understand what it meant.
Jason has agreed to back off his. We'll use Trey's. I guess, Jason, if you're okay with that as a first
Yep.
reading?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's better. 'Cause like I said, all I changed was 2 to 4, and Beach was like, you can't go changing everything around. So I didn't want to change anything else.
So, but this will not, since we don't have a second reading of public hearing to April, then this March 1st thing is not in play yet until you have the second public hearing, because otherwise it'll be illegal.
Is this the first reading today?
Yes.
Well, then the second reading would be in March.
Yeah, March 2nd will be
Okay,
the second reading.
You're right. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
we'll be good to go.
Sorry. Okay.
So we're good.
Okay.
And if KLC says yours is good, Mayor, then fine, I'm good with that. They told me unequivocally no. But
They may not, but all I was trying to do was
I get it.
try to get a playing field out there that's equal to the county.
I get it.
People understand we're on about the same page as is the county, and then work on this through the summer and get it ready for the fall. So, okay, we've got that done. Where are we now?
All right, good work,
Okay.
team.
Still any new business? Anybody have any other new business?
Whereas I'm tired.
Okay. Anybody have any announcements they'd like to make? Okay, no one? Who wants to make a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Motion
Second.
made by Joe Davenport, second by Jason Kinzer. All those in favor of the motion, let me know I'm saying aye.
Aye.